No, that
I
was
mean,
actually not that bad.
well, it depends on like what people's headphones are set to.
Yeah, I feels you.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Tangents podcast. It's back. I think we're gonna go bi-weekly. I think that just makes more sense. It gives us a little time. Plus, a lot of shit happens in 2 weeks, as opposed to like one thing or two things. I'm having myself a little drink. My name is Dalibor. This is my cousin Hadis. How you doing, Hadis?
Dude, I'm doing not bad. I'm a little tired. It's been a
Oh yeah, you
long
said you woke up
week.
super early, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but then I fell asleep for another like half hour. I don't know why I woke up. I didn't set an alarm. Nobody woke me
Because you
up.
messaged me because I woke up and I was like, why did he text? Like, why did he text me at two
Yeah, I
thirty in
don't
the
know.
morning
Yeah.
or whatever? And he's like, I just got home. I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
damn,
yeah. Because I
son.
didn't fall asleep till like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So the fact that like I'm freaking I was awake at that point, I was like, what is happening? Why am I
Right,
awake? So
right,
there's
right,
that.
right. Well, if you don't know what the Tangents podcast is, well, I'm just gonna need you to Google what tangents are. Well,
And that'll
typically,
pretty much tell you everything.
I pretty much tell you everything you need to know. But typically, we start off with a couple, two, three topics, and then we just go on tangents.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
Today we got a couple things we can talk about. The first thing is kind of an update from the last episode that we did, which is ironic because the last episode we filmed like a month and a half ago, even though it only came out 2 weeks ago. I was just sitting
Yeah,
on it. I was
yeah,
just sitting on it for a while. I don't even know why
yeah.
I didn't
We
put it
we
out.
we recorded that a
But
while ago.
but that story apparently is still ongoing because it is not enough to have the state of California sue Blizzard. Apparently, they handled that so poorly that their employees are now suing them again because of how poorly they handled that.
Well, so this
They
goes
try to
back.
like shut them up.
Yeah, yeah, they were bullying them. So
Oh my
and
god.
this pretty much goes for me, like this goes into like this isn't what I was saying last time around. This isn't cancel culture. Like this is ongoing
No.
issues that they keep fucking doing. And that cancel culture is when it stopped and then for some reason we're bringing up 6-year-old shit. No, they're still acting like this. They're still
Right.
fucking children. So if hey man, I'm glad all this shit is coming out because I feel bad for any freaking person that has to work in a shitty environment and try to do something they enjoy doing, because like a lot these people that are creating games, like they enjoy creating games. They just don't enjoy creating games for assholes, but it's a
Right.
job. That's where they're at now. So I'm honestly, I'm just, hey, I'm glad more lights being shined on this. I'm glad that people are
Me too.
still bringing it up. I'm glad it wasn't one of those stories where just like it was big hype for like a week or two and then everybody just stopped giving a shit. Like, I mean, listen, I'm not surprised, man. Like I said last time around, that the guy, the instigator of all the sexual harassment stuff, didn't leave till 2020. So I'm not surprised that they're bullying these people. Plus,
Right.
remember that one CEO that I told you, or the executive of the company was like, "Well, it didn't happen to me," and I'm like, "Cause because it didn't happen to you, it doesn't
Well,
happen."
that's I mean that's like me walking down the street, be like, I don't know, cops don't pull me over all the time.
Yeah, I don't get pulled over all the time.
I mean, like a super stupid example, but like we talked about recently, everyone is always complaining about the McDonald's ice cream machines not working, and I literally, up until like a month ago, I had never experienced that. I had never gone to a McDonald's and they'd be like, "Oh, the ice cream machine's not working." Every single time I've ever wanted ice cream, it was working.
Yeah,
So then when it happened to me, I was like, obviously, like it clearly happens. Like
it,
people have
it
been talking,
happens. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I wasn't like, well, it never happened to me, so it must not happen.
It must not
Must,
happen.
must not be a thing.
It's not a thing. Everybody's a liar.
It's
Um,
obscene. What I wanted to ask you though, on like the kind of like a side angle on this story, like you and I did, like we backed away from our subscriptions. Like I deleted my entire Battle.net account. Like if I ever wanted to go back into that world, I would have to start fresh all over from everything.
right.
Um, Although I might be able to no, I wouldn't even be able to activate my Overwatch. It doesn't matter. I didn't think I'd have to buy it again. Nonetheless, the people that work there were
Uh-huh.
apparently saying that they don't want people to stop supporting the games because they still work there. They still want to get the money. They still like they were saying basically like saying that, oh, to stand in support of the women that work at Blizzard, you're gonna not support Blizzard, which is who pays their bills. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, I mean, I see that. I see that. Like, it seems like a counterproductive thing in some ways. But I think you and I talked about, like, at least this is how I feel. I don't know any other way to stand up besides
Yeah.
just parroting what everyone else is saying. I like, oh,
Yeah.
just like talking about it, talking about it, talking about it. I don't know what other way to like stand up to Blizzard from my perspective. So the
Right.
only way I know is to hurt their wallet with a little bit that I was. I mean, which at my point wasn't even. I hadn't spent money with Blizzard in ages at that point.
Right.
But I mean, like, I wasn't talking about playing Overwatch. I'm actively telling people to play other games. So like, I don't know. Like, it was weird. It was a weird like thing to, it's like, to see it and people talking about it on Twitter and saying, oh, we're not, we don't want you to not support Blizzard. Like, we still work here. Like, we still work on these games. We still enjoy making these games. This is just something that needs to get dealt with. And I was like, I mean, I get that, but then like,
They won't learn.
why even do it publicly? Like, why even deal with it publicly? Why bring it up to the public?
Here's the thing. I don't like. I get it. They're employees, and they're saying that. They're probably some of them might be saying that because they've been threatened by Blizzard. Let's be real. Some of
That's
them
true.
could
They
be
are getting
pointed
they are getting
at.
sued for being bullies.
Like I, at this point, like I 100% believe that Blizzard's got the money, and they're like, hey, listen, you gonna shut the fuck up. You're gonna say, don't
They
do this or
do,
don't do it.
especially with like their merger with Activision. They do feel like the Disney of games.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They're like
That's
the
what I'm
big
saying.
bad, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
who
yeah.
else is around? Like EA, kind of.
Right. So
That's like the two.
So for me, it's like I get it. Listen, even if it is legit, even if these employees like are not being threatened, they're like, no, you still should support. And like, no, they won't get the point. They need
Right.
to understand that stop fucking being an asshole and listen to the people who buy your shit, right? Who support you via money, and the people listen to your fucking employees for them to understand. And without hurting them, they're not going to learn. Here's the thing, they can get sued, but it can be thrown out. But
Yep.
but if we say fuck you, that can't be thrown out.
Right.
So
yeah,
at the end of the day,
if was it 5 million active users goes down to 500,000,
yeah, 100%.
That means something.
100%, man.
That means something.
I respect what the employee, if they are legit, if these employees are legitimately saying this out of their own free will, and they believe that still supporting the games helps them, like, I get what you're saying, but it will not do anything to make your fucking work environment better. It won't. Like, yes, they pay you, but they can still pay you even if we bounced right. If they were down to 10,000 users, they could. They just wouldn't, but they could because they have the money. They've made that money.
Right.
Like they're sitting on that money.
They're not hurting for rent,
Like the big dicks that are over there, they jump in that. They swim around in it like fucking Scrooge McDuck, whatever the fuck his name is. Like they swim in that shit and they have fun. Like, don't get me, they got the money.
Right.
They need to understand that what they're doing is not right. Like, did I delete my account? No, I didn't delete my account. But I don't touch Blizzard. I loved Overwatch. Like, that shit was my shit. Like, that was one of my favorite first person games ever. I don't touch it. WoW is like an addiction for me, but I don't touch it. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. And it's like I've tried other games too, but then again, I haven't been really touching games. So, I've been really worried about like just working on my cars and stuff. But regardless, I think 100% you need to speak with your wallet to tell these fuckers to stop abusing their employees, and also to listen to us when we tell them, hey, what you think is good for your game isn't actually good anymore.
Right.
Like, you're trying to do something that doesn't translate good into actual gameplay, and you should listen to our feedback. So
Right.
like, and they're doing neither or. They've shown, and they've already shown that they don't care. They've already talked about, like it's been said, one of the I guess engineers or whatever you want to call them, one of the guys that works in creating the game, one or two or three of them, I don't know exactly, but I know one that has a really good, really big social media presence. He said like Blizzard doesn't care for your opinions on what you want.
No,
So
of
that
course not.
came out after obviously the lawsuit came out. So not only do they treat their employees like shit, this whole time they haven't given a shit about what you think. So why should you support them? Why should you at this point? And now on top of all that, they're still treating their employees like shit by being bullies to
Right.
them. So
Right. It's on top
yeah,
of
so on
it's
top
bad
of
on top of bad. It's bad
yeah,
on top of bad. And
exactly.
there's just no way around that. Like,
So to me, it's like I get it. I don't agree with it. Like I get what they're trying to say.
right.
I also could easily say you might be getting forced to say that. So
Right. And I mean, even if it was a situation where like, oh, like Blizzard loses so much money that they have to start firing people, I don't think that people who worked at Blizzard are going to be hard up to find a job.
no,
Like, that's just a feeling I have.
yeah, no,
You know,
I think if your resume shows you've been part of the Blizzard
oh,
team,
you ran the World of Warcraft team for 7 years.
right?
Yeah, we'll give you whatever you want. Please come here.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. Please
I'm
do come
recording a
over here.
podcast. I'm recording a podcast.
So to me, it's like
Hold on a second, Hannes.
yeah.
I said it twice. So are you not listening, or are you choosing to ignore? I'm keeping this in. I'm keeping all of this in. Are you choosing to ignore me? I said it twice. I'm recording a podcast 3 times now.
But yeah, man, it's just it's I do not believe what saying to still continue to pay for their games is a smart thing to tell people who are trying to fight for you, because the only reason Blizzard is actually possibly worried at this point is because they're losing people.
Yeah.
Because if it was just a lawsuit, they could pay their way out of that shit.
Yeah. It's
somebody
not
will
lawsuit.
take the
It's
money.
Absolutely, yeah, it's absolutely something that it's very much not just lawsuit. It's very much the reality of people. Like, people actually are mad about this. People are leaving our platform. People are talking badly about our games, or just not talking about our games. Like,
right.
Like you speak with your wallet. Like, there's just no way around that. If you
There's
speak
no
with
way
your
around.
wallet, people are going to, like, the people who that affects they're going to listen. They're going to start listening.
Yep, absolutely, and I mean, listen, it's like how else are they going to get the point?
Right. Speaking with your wallet, that was pretty solid there.
Pretty solid. I'll take it.
Pretty solid transition there. A lot of wallet talking coming up here. New tech. I wanted to talk about tech because I'm like, T3G started as a tech channel, and I really wanted to.
We sure did.
There's a bunch of tech stuff that we just don't talk about anymore. Like, we just don't really discuss a lot of tech, especially not on podcasts. So like, I wanted to talk tech.
True.
I want to talk some new stuff. Apple obviously dropped their Apple, and I noticed something, and somebody pointed this out. I was talking to our buddy Nick, and he said it's a
Nicky boy.
he said it's a difference of talking about features versus benefits. And he's like, Apple spends a lot of time selling benefits. That's why they don't tell you how many milliamp hours the battery has, how many gigs of RAM there are in a phone. They don't tell you that stuff. They tell you it is 40% faster than the previous model. They put it big on screen, and I like really noticed it because they're usually not this close together, right? The Apple announcement is usually nowhere near the Microsoft announcement.
Right.
Microsoft did theirs a week after Apple, or 2 weeks or whatever it was. I watched like a recap of the Apple one, and I watched the Microsoft one basically live.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the specs and the features, and he's like, oh, like this new Surface, like it's got we did this and this, and it's got a 20% faster like 20% longer battery life. And then he just like went on, and I was like, oh my god, that's the difference. Like he's rattling off features.
Yeah.
He's rattling, oh, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we improved, this is what we improved. Whereas Apple would be like, it's 25% faster. And then they pause. They put a big old 25% faster on the screen. They let the audience just soak it in. And I was like, that's the difference. Mm-hmm. They're not selling the features. No. They're not selling. They're going to say ProMotion display. Pause. Like that's what they do.
I know.
Like that's what they do. Whereas like,
it's like, let it sink in. I know you want to clap. Go ahead. I'm gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, even though there's no one in this room because it's COVID and we're shooting like cinematic now. I gotta give it, like, as much as I kind of like don't care about new product announcements, I gotta give it up to Apple's like keynote team, whoever like their producers are. They produce the hell out of that thing, man. Like
they do.
Dude. The like transitions, the like actual footage versus like pre-record, just outstanding shit.
Props to their creative team, man.
Yeah. I gotta give that up to him, man. As much as like usually I don't care, like, because to me it's like, oh, it's 12% faster. Who fucking cares? Like it's the same phone. It's the same phone that it was last year. Like this year, I guess they got new lenses, new camera sensors or something. Cool, good for them.
When a company tells me it's 12% faster, I'm like, then your model.
Yeah, exactly.
Means nothing to me.
It's 12% faster than the last one, but your last one was already 15 to 35% slower than
somebody else's. Yeah.
So it was just but and this is where tangents comes in. That is how I think people need to live their lives. Like people do a lot of comparing to other people.
Yeah.
Whereas in reality, the only person you need to beat is you. You just need to be doing better than you were last week, last year, whatever.
Sure, and that I 100% agree in living your life.
Yeah,
but in
products, we demand the other, right? If you want to say you're the fastest, you need to be the fastest across the board.
Absolutely,
it needs to be the best camera across the board,
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
There's something to that, man. It's like the products and life are like inverses of each other. Something to think about.
It's two different things, man. It's living your life for sure. You should just compare to what did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? Is it better? Is it worse?
Yeah. You did one thing yesterday. If you could do two things today, you are doing better.
Don't concern yourself what Will Smith did yesterday. You ain't Will Smith. Like, don't worry about that.
Man, I'd be sleeping in every day if I was trying to live up to Will Smith. The man said he will die on a treadmill. I won't even get on the damn thing. So like, he already won.
Yeah, right. He's already winning. So yeah, man, it's like, to me, it's like, that's great for living, but
right.
But when it comes to you're trying to sell a product to me, how are you better?
That's the thing. That's
I don't give a shit how you better than your last product. How are you better than the product I want?
Exactly, and that's why like the YouTube, the tech YouTube ecosystem is like essential to me, in my opinion. Like I think before anyone buys anything, they need to go find a comparison video.
Oh yeah,
like that's because like.
But I compare the shit out of everything. Like literally, I was just like thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I really want a bigger screen. I want 5G, right? So this one is the smaller screen I could have had out of my phones. Although it is a little bigger.
You got Costco?
Little bigger than,
or you got Sam's Club?
Costco. It is a little bigger than the last one, but like just slight. And I was like, 5G would be nice, now that it's gonna start rolling out more and more. And I'm like, but I was like, but I love the camera in this fucker. The camera's for the money. The camera's really good in this thing. So let's see if this 5G device they got, same company.
Well, was it the Motorola?
Yeah, it's the Motorola. And they don't have it.
The stylus has the stylus. Well, it's Sam's Club. I don't know. I'm sure it is also at Costco. The 5G stylus, the 2021 one.
Yeah.
Because there is a 2021 stylus, so like just make sure it
It's
says
not
5G.
5G. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I know.
5G one was like $15 cheaper on their website as it was on like Motorola's website or Amazon.
Mm.
So might be able to save a few dollars that way
Yeah, for sure,
if you go
But
through that. But like I was definitely looking at that, and it was like, do I spend the nearly $400 or do I actually, oh no, I guess it was 300, or do I just fix the wing?
yeah,
And I was kind of like, I'm already like $1,200 in because of that first
yeah.
screen. I was like, it's like the car thing. Like when you have so many repairs into a car, and you're like, should I just sell this fucking thing and buy a new car? But you're like, I'm like $3,000 in repairs in on this. Like I'm invested.
I mean, I get it, man. I get it.
I just put new brakes on and tires are only 6 months old. Like,
Dude, like I got a 1997 outside my house right now that's got a bunch of new things on it. It's
yeah, and imagine if the timing belt went tomorrow, God forbid. But like,
yeah.
if the
Luckily, that's sitting in the trunk right now. So
but like, imagine like if the timing belt went tomorrow and you were like that, that was like $1,000 repair. You'd be
yeah,
like, I mean, I just put new wheels on it, just put a backup camera on it, like I put all this money in it.
yeah.
Like I gotta find this $1,000 at this point. Like I gotta fix this timing belt. Like it's gotta work.
Yeah. I mean, or it'll sit there until I can fix it.
I
So,
guess, yeah. But like
but
it's yeah, you got to compare. You have to compare.
100%.
I was looking at a comparison, the S21 camera versus the new iPhone 13. Mr. Who's the Boss, like it did a fantastic comparison, like point for point, like low light for low light, like all of these features. I think he had like 10 or 12 different like things he was comparing.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job. And that's the kind of thing I want to see. Like I want to see what it like, because specs are specs, execute like actual practical use.
Yeah. Specs
You
are
can tell
specs,
me
man.
you can tell me it's got 12 cores and 12 gigs of RAM, but if I pick it up and I feel it's sluggish when I do the thing I'm trying to do,
Right.
doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Because
Like your specs are shit.
yeah, it doesn't matter what the fucking specs are.
Yeah.
I have had 8-core computers where I'm like, why is this so laggy? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, to me, uh it's not just specs, it's not just how much better you are, it's how it performs, man. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, that perfect example was that radio I just put in that 1997 fucking Forerunner. I was like, all right, the one in the Talon is good, so like if it's as good as that, I'll be happy. It's better. It's like I was looking at Anthony, I was like, why is this so much smoother? Like it's a smooth experience, and I was like, holy shit, wasn't expecting it. Not saying that like the one in Talon isn't smooth, but not like this smooth. This is significantly, like, this is smoother than some fucking OE shit. So I'm like, and that's a perfect example right there. It's like it doesn't have the best specs,
Right.
but it fucking came to play. And like, oh, I can say
And
that
that's
for
the thing.
sure.
That's the thing, man. It's one of those things. Like if you let, that's why I always believe in letting somebody just do the thing they're really good at and not trying to like. That's why when Samsung was like, "Oh, Bixby," I was like, "Why? Why?" Like Google Assistant already works.
Yeah,
Just let them do the assistant thing.
yeah,
You do the Samsung things.
yeah.
Like you do the camera. Do the
Because
camera really
Samsung,
good
because
because the
Samsung wants to
camera is the
be,
shit. You know.
because Samsung wants to be Apple, right? Samsung's like, oh, they have Siri, we'll have Bixby. Like, nah,
I mean, look, even
you run an
Microsoft.
Android, you run an Android OS, just leave it alone.
Microsoft gave up after a while, man. Like it
I'm
was
saying,
Cortana was around for a minute
yeah,
for him, and then they were like, "Oh, you actually like you just choose Alexa instead." And I was like, "What?"
yeah. They straight up were like, yeah, man, that's just,
Although I still haven't found that setting. I still don't know how you would do that. But it's just yeah, you got to compare because it's got to
yeah,
be. That's the
100%.
thing. That's the thing that like I learned very early on when I like started selling tech specifically. People would be like, "Oh, this is the $500 laptop for the week." Is when I was working in Circuit City. People were coming for that fucking Sunday sale, that $475 laptop, and I'm like, "Yes, that is the sale laptop." But like, what are you trying to do?
Right.
Well, I just want to do some like light video editing. I'm like, no,
No.
No, my
Well,
friend. This is not gonna
that's
do any video editing.
that's literally how I handled when I used to work for Circuit City. That's how I handled every person that came to buy a computer. They were like, "Oh, I see this has a good price." I'm like, "Yeah, it has a great price." But you know what's better that's similar to that price? This thing here. Now tell me what you want to do. and
Yeah, and that's the
and they
thing.
were
Like,
like, well, they were like, "Oh, I want to maybe save my images on there and stuff like that." And even back then, that could take up space. And I'm like, well, listen,
well, yeah, you're only getting 40 gigs.
yeah. I'm like, listen, you're gonna want to do this because it has more hard drive space. Uh, and every time I've talked to anybody who's bought less and said the same thing to me as you are, end up needing more space. So I'm letting you know,
Yep.
if that's what you're doing, even though you think it might not be a lot,
And
it's
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 funny, like,
more than you
this,
think.
and this is not new. Like, this is not. I feel like there have been enough, like, people in my age group and younger,
Yeah.
certainly older,
I
have done
mean,
enough shopping for computers and just anything,
right.
like cars, whatever, to know that it's not like, what's a good computer? That's like saying, what's a good car?
Right.
What's a good car, Hodis? I need a new car. What's a good car?
Listen, man.
Lamborghini's a good car.
You just go with a Ferrari 458, 488. I mean,
Por-
listen, at this point,
Porsche 94. Was it the G94 or whatever?
just the
Like,
Panamera. Go with the Panamera. It's
yeah,
a
the
good
Porsche
sized car.
Panamera. It's a
Yeah,
good car.
man. It's
It's
a
a good
good
car.
car. What?
It's 100% is all, like, whatever you're buying is always, what do you want to do? Like, what do you need it for?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise,
100%.
like, without that answer, any
Yeah.
answer I give you could be wrong, and
Absolutely.
most likely is wrong, because I'm
Yeah.
basing it on who knows what.
100%. I
I could be
mean,
basing it on how much money I got at the time. So maybe I'm feeling like I don't have a lot of money. So maybe I recommend something cheap.
or what I would buy, just in
Yeah.
general,
Or
what I would buy.
I'm thinking like, man, I'm like, right now, that, speaking of fucking tech, during that, I don't know if you've seen it during the Microsoft fucking event, they, dude, I've never been this excited for a product. I really
Honestly,
haven't.
honestly, it's very rare that I watch
Well, just so
announcements.
they announced a new Surface, of course, because that's the thing, because it was a Surface event. They announced a new
Sure.
Surface, the new Surface Go 3 or whatever. It's, it's faster, it's whatever. It's like
Yeah.
it's the update, whatever. Then the Surface Duo 2, which has an actual camera bump on the back with 3 optically stabilized, like, good appearance, like, on paper, good cameras.
Hmm.
And they changed the hinge to allow for that to open. And now when it's closed, the gap in the hinge, you see some of the screen because the screen's curved. And if you're charging, it shows a charging bar. Fucking, it's like the dumbest, gimmickiest shit. Even more so than the fucking swinging open fucking phone.
Right.
Like, the notifications will pop up in the little fucking gap. It'll be like, boom, text message. And I was like, fuck, that's awesome. Like, that's so
Right.
fucking cool. But then they were like, one more fucking thing. They pulled an Apple. And they show this video, and it's clearly the new, like, Surface Book. That was my first impression. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
new Surface Book. I was expecting it. She's, this woman's typing, and then I see that it's raised like a quarter inch off the ground, and it's all vented. The whole bottom section that it's raised on, it's like a little platform that it's on,
Mhm.
is all vented. I was like, all right, so it's got excellent fucking cooling. That's good.
Right.
Which that means it's powerful. Because if it needs great cooling like that, it's powerful.
Right. Specs are good.
Yeah, and she's typing and it looks good. And they're like, first haptic touchpad, which I'm kind of whatever about. But yeah, so it's not a clicky style touchpad. It's like the Apple style touchpad, whatever.
Don't care.
She's typing. And I was like, I realized, I'm like, wait, that's an attached screen. Like, how does the screen come off? Because in the Surface Book before, the screen was where the computer was.
Right.
It came off and you can
Right.
flip it and shit. And she puts her hands on the screen and it goes into fucking slow motion. And she just kicks out the bottom of the screen and it folds down. And I was like, motherfucker, like, that's so cool. So it pops out like what are the fucking, the iPad Pros, where when they're on that stand, they can do that. That's kind of how the screen, it pops
Sure.
down. and it'll go into an angle so you can watch shit or a game, or you could drop it down and you can just draw straight on it. It's like almost nearly flat, but it's like a little angle. They're calling it the Surface Laptop Studio. I was floored. I was fucking floored. I was like, damn, like that's pretty. Like I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of that. It looks good. Like, and that's what I'm saying. To me, if you were like, oh, what's a good laptop? I'll be like, Surface Laptop Studio. That's a good laptop, in my opinion.
Right.
Because right now, I literally told Erica, I was like, look, like next time, like no, like we need like $2,500 somehow. I was like, I need to find $2,500 like about this fucking laptop.
I mean, yeah. No, I get it, Ben, but yeah, Surface Book 3. Man, it's been a while since I looked at their stuff. Hey, I was super stoked about the Surface Book when they originally announced it, but then I saw the price and
the price, the price tag was high. The price tag was high for sure. So yeah, there it is. Surface Book, the Surface Laptop Studio. And that's the thing that's going to throw me off, because to me, this is like Surface Book quality, like high price quality and specs and stuff. But they're calling it Surface Laptop. And because it's on this raised fucking cooling podium, it has like a lip underneath.
Right.
And that's where you can fucking magnetically attach and charge the fucking pencil or the pen or whatever the fuck they're calling it. Let's see. Configure now. If we configure it now, we go full. Let's see. i7, 32 gigs RAM, 2 terabyte SSD. I don't need that shit. No protection. And we'll do this. Yeah, we'll do the Surface Slim. Does it? Does it not charge? Maybe it just attaches then, because there is a Surface Pen charger. But whatever. We'll just say we'll add that. So with the pen, so Surface Slim Pen, maxed out, $32,29.98.
Yeah, it's expensive.
But I mean, yeah, but it's like a proper i7. I think it's the M series, not the M series, but the whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. I will never.
You don't think there's ever going to be a point where you will be willing to spend $3,000 for a laptop?
No.
Any kind of laptop.
Listen, maybe in another 10, 20. Listen, I can't say never, but who knows? Maybe in 10, 20 years, I'm making $800,000 a year, and that seems like nothing to me, and I change. But like, yes, listen.
H series.
Here's the thing. The price of shit goes up all the time, every year. It's a fact. The problem is the fact that the real fact here is normal people can't afford this shit.
No, this is not for normal people. This is for designers. This is for people
who. I mean, that's great. But what if there's a?
This is for people who charge $3,000 per project. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
but that's great. But that's great. And you're a designer. You just don't do it right now.
Yeah, I don't do it actively. Yeah,
you don't do it actively.
But if I was, I would dude, without a question. Like if that quote that I sent out recently. I mean, I was getting one of those every other month, I would have pre-ordered this before the event ended. Right,
but assuming that you're booking and you're getting the fucking.
That's what I'm saying. If I was getting a client with the quote that I sent out every other month, like if I was doing every other month with that volume,
right,
like that kind of work,
right,
yeah, without question, before the event ended, before he finished talking about it. By the way, on the event itself, that dude, I always forget his damn name, but like the dude that like little nerdy dude that does all their Surface stuff,
right.
He's so geek, like that dude. You know what they say? Like, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy. They saw this guy working, and they came up with that phrase. Yeah. This dude is so geeked about Surface products. It is fucking hilarious and adorable to watch.
Yeah, I
So
believe it.
he's presenting the Surface, the Surface laptop studio, and he's talking about it, and he's like, it's better if I just show you. And he's like, Charlie, or whoever the fuck the cameraman's name is. He's like, you said you could follow me? Can you follow me over here? And he goes off script, off fucking like he goes off the podium. he's like, excuse me, Tiffany, or whatever the hell. He's like, can I borrow your Surface? He
Right.
grabs the fucking laptop from him. He's like, can I use your table? He grabs this dude's table, and he's like, can we do an overhead shot? They've got a fucking gimbal, like on an arm camera. And I was like, yeah, it's a fucking $8,000 camera. Of course you could do an overhead shot. But he just like starts going off. He's like, look how fucking cool it is. And I was like, this dude would be like me working at Marvel.
Like, I mean, listen,
if somebody was like, here, Dalibor, you do X-Men. Now you control the X-Men. I would be peeing myself every day going to work. Like,
no, I get it, man. Listen, I understand. I just do not believe that they didn't do anything outside of like figuring out a different way to fold a screen. They didn't do anything that's worth $3,000. Like I'm looking at right now on Newegg, there's a 15.6-inch screen laptop. It's an HP Pavilion. It has the new Ryzen 7 8-core processor, so 16 threads, 64 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD, M.2 SSD at that, for $1,219. So you're telling me that laptop, because it articulates the screen differently, is worth another $2,000? By the way, which has less RAM.
Trying to find which one is it? What size screen is it?
It's a 15.6. Like, it's not, and that's the problem. It's not.
64 gig. Well, here's a 64 gig, 2 terabyte SSD. Pavilion, 15.6 IPS, 5700U, which I guess is the same thing as the H series, from $13.99.
So more RAM and more hard drive space.
But it doesn't flip into a tablet.
Okay. Not worth $2,000.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's not worth $2,000 to you. To you, it's not worth $2,000. But again, to a Weta workshop artist who is constantly on the go, constantly designing new shit.
Listen, I get it. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, great.
Like we just said,
great. That's fine.
It's what you're doing.
But that's not what I'm stating. I'm not stating that like that person who does that should not allow people to charge them that much money for something that is not worth that money. Because it's not. The only thing that it does for an additional $2,000 is it folds into a tablet. There are devices that fold into a tablet
on it, and it charges it. Like,
it's not. This is nothing new. Once again,
it's not. This
is the Apple effect.
No,
it's
not new.
We've invented something. No, you haven't.
It's not new. They didn't say they invented anything. But it's the execution, right?
Right, but
Endgame wasn't a new version of anything. Endgame took a bunch of fucking tropes from a bunch of different movies, and yet it made $1.5 fucking billion.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Was it worth $1.5 billion?
That's two different things. You can't compare it. It was
okay,
it worth
fine.
my
was it worth the $300 million budget or $400 million budget?
Was it worth my once again? You're comparing it differently. What those companies spend to create a movie isn't the same thing as me spending money to use a device. Like, what now? If you're asking me, was it worth my $5 to go watch it compared to the other movies that I pay $5 to watch it? Yeah, it was, because I paid the same amount of money to go watch that movie and other movies. Like, now if somebody was now if Disney was like, you know what, if you're gonna watch this in the theater, it's gonna be $20 a person, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna wait till it comes out on DVD and buy it for $20.
I'm gonna ask you right here. Let's say right here. It's a great example. It's a great fucking example. This website sucks dick. Holy shit. Why is this website not working? Like all I'm trying to do is price something out, and it's like, no, these clicks don't work. No, okay. Oh my god, fine. I'll just find it manually. Jesus Christ. No, yeah, let's put all the SUVs first. God damn it. Oh no, there it is. Okay, that's what it is. All right, so there's nothing new about a 6-speed transmission. There's nothing new about a twin turbocharged V6. There's nothing new about Brembo ceramic braking systems.
Correct.
Is a GTR worth $210,000?
No.
Is it worth the 113 base price?
No.
All right. All right. Well, let's just go to regular cars then. Let's go to regular cars.
Because here's why it's not. Let me tell you. In fact,
is
why
a Maxima worth $37,000?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Here's let me tell you. Here's a perfect example why the GTRs are not worth that money. You ready?
Go for it.
Okay. Twin turbo V6. 6-speed manual.
Right.
Sports car.
All
2-door. Ceramic brakes.
Right.
Ceramic brake. Right. $41,000.
Is it the Corvette?
No, it's the Nissan Z. The new Z that's coming out.
I thought they didn't have a price on it.
There was a leak on the base price, which was like 38 grand, and then I think they said like the premium is going to be 41. So yeah. So
with the GTR, you're paying for the legacy.
You absolutely are. Some people will argue like, but they put all that R&D into fucking the dual clutch transmission. Dual clutch transmissions have been around forever. That's like saying McLaren. McLaren uses a Nissan V8 engine in their badass supercars, and they charge $250,000 for a car. Here's the thing. Now they'll be like, "Oh, but it's not the Nissan engine. They've completely redone it." Correct. They've redone the internals, but the engine, the blueprint of that engine is still the same. It's still the same style V8. Everything from that V8 is the same. All they did was they made the internals beefier, better. That's it. It's a race engine from a fucking Nissan.
So here's my question to you. What is the acceptable, I guess? Like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you want to, let me put it. Hold on. Let me put it.
What is the incentive for someone to make something?
Let me
if they're not going to make a profit?
Let me put it in perspective to you. It has nothing to do with profit, bro. I just told you the same car cost $41,000. So I'm assuming their profit on that $230,000 other Nissan is about $190,000.
Okay, but how many people are going to buy it?
If it was less money, way more.
Would they though?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many people buy the $113,000 one?
A good chunk.
Part of that.
A good chunk. That's why there's so many. That's why there's so many on sale that are used. Because it's a good chunk.
part of that price bracket, like, that's why granted, I don't agree with their position, but that's why Ferrari you have to be like a verified Ferrari owner to be able to sell your Ferrari.
Here's two things I want to say. One thing, pricing, adjusting pricing for any vehicle or anything, pricing for a product like a laptop or a vehicle. If you're going to keep raising the price because the cost of living keeps going up, you need to then validate people making money that's equivalent to them being able to
100%. If we
don't
do that
minimum
wage shit, yeah.
But it absolutely is. That's where this whole mentality lies. Those cars aren't worth that because anybody who wants it couldn't properly afford it.
1990, was it 95? Nissan, not Sentra, Nissan.
Because I can tell you right now, a Nissan Maxima that you just said was $40,000.
Help me out. What was it called?
Hold on. The Maxima you just said it was worth $40,000. When we were in high school, the Maxima was fucking 24,000. And I'm talking about like anywhere between 2004 and 2010. It was a $24,000 to $26,000 car. Now it's $40,000, bro. I don't know who who these people are like surveying or talking to. There's not people right now that could go in and buy a $24,000 car without them hurting themselves monthly.
Oh, 100%.
So like the fact that that car went in the last 15 years went from 11 years, fuck it, because I would say anywhere up to 2010 that car was still in the 20s, went up $11,000 to $15,000 in the last 10 maybe 15 years, but yet the person making the money still can't fucking afford it, just like they couldn't. Like, if you want to raise prices on shit, you got to know who's going to buy. That's why when they're like, oh, we're canceling this car, why? We're not selling enough. No shit. What'd you think? You thought the price was going to work?
Well, yeah, because you said that happened with the Focus, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, with just all Ford cars, they were like, we sell way more trucks and SUVs. We're canceling all our cars except the Mustang. Oh,
yeah, but I think that was also in part to go hybrid and electric.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But they could have canceled the Mustang too. It's just it's about sales, man. And at the end of the day,
I think they're
Ford
trying
Focus,
to get people into the
Ford Focus RS would have sold better if dealers weren't up pricing at 15 grand. People already had a problem that it was a $36,000 car out of the factory. Then dealers added another 15 because you wanted it. You want to sell shit? Stop letting prices be absurd.
So retail. So like here's the thing, there's so many levels, right? There's so many levels to it. But I think at some point, like I think Tesla's a good example for this in the car industry. And I think this is going to get better moving forward to a degree. You have like Tesla doesn't have dealerships.
No.
Tesla sells DTC.
Yeah, but they have experiences. You still go
but I mean,
to,
like they don't. But I mean, like they don't have like local dealerships. Like there's no like Joe Schmo owns a dealership,
right,
signs a deal with Tesla.
Yeah.
They sell DTC.
Right.
They do not have a dealer markup. There's nothing the dealer's doing that they're like. There's no.
Correct.
Like, you customize your shit. It comes straight to you.
And it comes in the price they gave you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is happening more. It's not everywhere, obviously, but you have companies like hold on, right to repair laptop. I forget their name. I always forget their damn name. Framework is a company that is that created this laptop. They are supporters of right to repair. So everything is modular.
Mm-hmm.
You customize it to exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to, you can replace pretty much everything on the board.
Good.
I think the only thing you can't is the CPU, maybe.
Which makes sense.
But other than that, like the RAM is removable, and it even has barcodes that you can scan, and it shows you instructions on how to remove
as it should be.
And you can customize the port output. So like it's got these modular port things that slot into it that connect via USB-C, and then you could have an HDMI port and an Ethernet port and an SD card reader if you want all three.
Nice.
Like you could customize it. And I think this is like the early model is pretty expensive, but it's because they're making all their own shit. They're signing all these deals. They don't have the volume for discounts and shit.
Right.
But I mean, like they are doing. I think they're going in the right direction. And I think, and this is one of those things that I don't actually think someone like an Apple or Microsoft or Nissan or whoever, even if they went that route, like if Nissan cut out all dealers, if they were like, no Nissan dealer is an official dealer, they have to buy from us and then sell to you.
Here's what's weird. what Tesla does is illegal, but yet somehow they get
What do
away
you
with
mean
it.
illegal?
Well, it's illegal because there is a actual federal law that states that
Oh yeah, the dealership thing.
yeah,
I
there
just
needs to be
I watched a
dealership.
donut video on this.
Yeah, there needs to be dealership. So for the fact that they do not have them, I think the only reason they're able to get away with it is because they are full electric. I think because that falls under a different category for vehicle, they're able to get away with it somehow. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense, because they are a United States of America company. Like their shit is
That's
in LA,
true.
in California. They can't pass those laws. They have to have a dealership. So how they do it, no idea.
That'd be an interesting thing to look into. Might have to come back to that on another podcast. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Here's the thing. I think originally, right, they said they made those laws because to prevent price hikes and
yeah, because you'd have a company like
ironically enough,
you'd have a Ford come in. Ford could open their own dealership,
right?
And Joe Schmo doesn't get to sell any cars because Ford has their own dealership and they'll just outprice you.
Ironically enough, it's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to destroy the dealership model.
Yes.
The new car dealership model. Used cars, we need dealerships.
Yeah, used cars.
But even that, you've got Carvana, they'll deliver that shit on a flatbed.
I mean, listen, sure. As a mom and pop dealership, that's who you got to fight, but for new cars, I don't think dealers are allowed to sell new cars anymore because they're ruining the market. They're overpricing these
That's a fair
for
point,
no reason.
man. That's a real fair point.
Dude, brand new Corvettes were supposed to be out of fucking Chevy's mouth. They said when these things hit the market, these things are 60 grand new, base model. No dealership sold that bitch for 60 grand. Granted, it got released during the worst possible time, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the dealerships should be told by the company who makes this product, you have to sell it for this amount.
Let's see, car performance.
But they don't.
Corvette to Stingray. So they said how much it was going to be?
I think it was 60 grand for the base model.
62, 195.
Right.
Looks like the base. Let's see, build and price. Coupe. Yeah, it looks like 62. I think unless maybe you could turn some stuff off. Looks like 62, 195 is the base.
Yeah.
And what? How much are they selling for dealers?
Almost $100,000.
Like the base model?
The base model.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's right though. But we've entered this market where people have been taught to go to dealerships to buy their stuff. Same thing with like Best Buy, right? You go to Best Buy to buy your computer.
Right.
So whatever the fuck the price is at Best Buy, like people are just now starting to be like, well, let me check Amazon and I'll compare it and you're gonna give me the best price. Let me check Micro Center. Same thing.
Right.
You're gonna give me the best price.
Right.
But if I think that law needs to get, that's like, instead of these fucking RPM laws and shit, that's the shit they need to be working at. Like that is the thing that needs to get overturned. Like that's a law that doesn't make sense in 2021.
Doesn't make
in the
sense.
21st century. That doesn't make sense. Like everyone has, for the most part, everyone has access to the internet.
Right.
Anyone that is buying a new car, brand new car, has access to the internet.
Yeah.
So they should be able to. Now, if Ford wants to open up an experience shop, I'm with that.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, it makes sense to me why Microsoft closed their retail stores and has only like a few experience shops open.
Right.
Because like, what's the point of upkeeping a retail environment if you could just sell direct to consumer?
Right.
You could just sell your fucking service. Like they can go to one of these, if it's in their area, they can, like I can go downtown Chicago, or wherever the fuck they left it open.
Yeah.
Check out the new Xbox, check out the new fucking Surface. Cool. Or just go to Best Buy because they keep the same shit.
Right.
And I'll be like, all right, cool. Well, it's $20 cheaper on the Microsoft website, so I'm just gonna order it there.
Right.
And then it's up to Best Buy to be like, well, we'll match it.
Right.
or have a good day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's up to them. It's up to them,
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
Man, yeah, I think you're right. I think we need to get rid of dealers.
Yeah, 100%.
De-
For new
brand
cars,
new
there
new
should
car
be.
dealerships gone,
Yeah,
kick them out
yeah,
of society, because you'll be able to pull up everyone, like, very practically speaking, everyone has a cell phone.
yeah,
Like, that is a generalization I can make comfortably,
yeah.
because there are people who do not have a house, an address, and they still got a cell phone, a
Yeah,
smartphone.
100%.
So I'm gonna say everyone has cell phones, everyone has smartphones. They can find Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is free all over the place. You can get a new car without having to step into a dealership.
Right. Yeah. I
The
I'm
only
I'm
drawback, is if you get that car and you get in it and you fucking hate the experience.
well, yeah, for sure,
Well,
but I
how do you
mean,
handle returns?
well, I mean, you know, there's got to be, I think everything, I mean, everything needs to have a law for, you know, how long somebody can, like, if I buy a fucking car and it breaks down on me within 2 days because you fucking built a bad car,
Yeah,
you should be giving me my money back, like, period.
for sure.
I mean, that's why, you know, all these retail stores for electronics have like 15 fucking day return policies. Why? What if, like, once again, experience is bad, something's wrong, whatever it might be, they have it. It's there for that. So to me, it's like same thing with the dealers. It's excuse me. But same thing with cars, man. You do the same thing. You end up telling, you know, offering similar, like, hey, yeah, you have 2 weeks. If for some reason it's not, or shit, fucking 1 week. It's a car. You'll know if you like it or not within the week. Um, 1 week, you know, if it's not to your satisfaction, if it's not what we guaranteed you, bring it back. This way, the car doesn't add a lot of miles to it, and you know, you can still be certain that, like, hey, okay, I'm not stuck with this giant ass purchase I just
Right.
made. So it just, at the end of the day,
I think we've solved the problem of new cars.
yeah, 100%. I mean,
Get rid of new car dealers.
yeah, new car dealers shouldn't be a thing, man. It's you know, they can definitely sell the used cars. Hell yeah. I mean, there's plenty fucking used cars to sell. Um, just as a new car dealer, like, if you're gonna keep them around, you have to tell them, hey, there's no fucking around. You can't be fucking raising these prices. Like, there should be a law against raising a fucking car price by 30, $40,000. Even
That's
fucking,
obscene, man. That's
even
obscene.
1 grand, even 1 grand shouldn't be allowed, but let alone 30 to 40. Motherfucking, it's a Ford Focus. I don't give a shit if it's an RS. 15 extra grand on top of the MSRP. The MSRP is what's suggested by the fucking, by Ford, for you to sell it to you so you can still make money. That's what the MSRP is. It's suggested retail pricing so you can still make money. So you're still making money.
Right.
So, like, you should not be allowed to fucking up price
In theory.
cars, and that's because at the end of the day, you're ruining what people who do look at cars more than just appliances, you're ruining that,
Right.
and you shouldn't be allowed to ruin that, because at the end of the day, man, that's passion. I mean, for some people, it's their livelihood, and you're ruining that by outpricing them, and that's just absurd. But yeah, man, I'll never, dude, like, you know, you asked me, like, are these prices wrong? Yeah, they're wrong, because you have to look at them. You have to look at them from the perspective of money. They're wrong because the general public who makes, I don't know what, fucking, after taxes, they're making what, 35 grand a year, let's say, after taxes.
Yeah. I mean, the average.
And you want to sell me a $40,000 car? Like,
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I mean, like car prices are insane. Plus, like if we want to actually like what we need to do is we need to start going into a model of if you want a new car, like we only sell used cars in dealerships. If you want a new car, you have to customize it. It is built to order.
Right. It's your car.
Yeah, it's not something that is sitting around. It's not like they built 5 million units and it's waiting for you.
Right.
It's built to order. You got to wait 3 weeks for it.
I'm doing it. I'm all for waiting for a fucking vehicle. First of all, I have old cars. I'm gonna keep them forever. So I'm always gonna have a car to drive while I'm waiting for my
Right.
brand new badass car. Right. So if I have the money to buy a brand new badass car, yes, I'll wait 3 weeks. I want to customize how I fucking want it. So if that means I want specific color from the inside and the outside, what options do I want? No, you know what? I don't care for all this safety features. I just want the base of this, but I want this paint color and this interior. That's it. That's all I want. It's just it's
Something to it, man. Something to it.
I just
done.
it's
Here's the framework laptop.
Mhm.
Base model, i5 1135 G7, 8 meg cache up to 4.2 gigahertz. With now again fully customizable, so you can actually have it come with nothing, and that would be $749. So it would have no Wi-Fi, no RAM, no storage.
Right.
And obviously no OS.
Right.
You can add all that stuff yourself. Now I have added Wi-Fi and I've added 64 gigs of RAM because I feel like it's a pretty reasonable price. About $320, 64 gigs of RAM, 3200. Like it's not
DDR4.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's ridiculous. It's two 32 gig sticks.
Right. Yeah.
But like, and I would add my own storage and I would install my own OS. $1,087.
That's not bad because you can get like, especially if it's like,
and if you went with the,
if it's a fuck, what's it? If it's a SATA connection for the hard drive.
It's an M2.
Oh, it's an M.2.
It's an M.2.
Those are a little pricier, so
they're a little pricier, but like their add-on is 1 terabyte Western Digital Black 850 for $299, $229.
I think you can get it less as
and even then, like I can get a 500 gig. 500 gig they've got for 129. I know I've seen them for under 100. Right. So yeah, I mean, and it's an M.2. I'm not even worried about it. And I think it's got two, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's got 2 spots for M.2s. So you've got space.
Yeah.
And then and then you literally build it yourself. And it's this whole process, and the top just pops off. Dude, the screen, I have taken apart laptop screens from the extremely easy of just 4 screws, you pop off the plastic, to like fucking Dell's where it was laminated on and you got to yank it off.
How much was that? How big was that SSD that you said for $300 or whatever it was?
The SSD, the 229, 1 terabyte WD Black 850.
Oh yeah, dude, $105 from PNY, 1 terabyte.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
mean, but at the end of the day, like, let's say you buy your OS, you buy this hard drive.
And even if just to get going, I want to fucking put Linux on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean for sure, yeah, 100%.
Like, just to get going, I can fucking throw Ubuntu on there.
$1,100 in.
Yeah, $1,100 in with storage. $1,100, and it's fully fixable. Here, let me see. This is gonna be the first. Whatever one. That's fine. We're gonna share this.
Yeah, if it's fully fixable, like.
So you see it?
Yeah, no, dude, that's.
So like you see this is what I was saying. There's the screen. With the screen, they it's like magnetically attached, so it just pops off. The fucking bezel just pops off, and then you have the screws for the screen.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? Like that's so simple.
That's how it should be, man.
And so here's like all the modules you can get.
At the end of the day,
it's still pretty thin.
At the end of the day, I will always say this. This is the way laptops should be. The fact that we're, I don't know, so lazy that we are willing to pay absurd prices that these companies make like their type of laptop,
Yeah.
and that's what you're stuck to, and you can't upgrade the RAM and you can't upgrade the hard drive later on. That's stupid. Like the fact that
Bro.
we're allowing that is that just shows how much as a society we are lazy and stupid, because we're stupid because that's just going to bite us in the ass price wise. We're lazy because we don't want to try to fix shit ourselves
It's exactly that's
research.
exactly what it is. I just read an article this morning, or today actually, sometime, where they were talking about how there is the Gen Z folks
Yeah.
have a problem visualizing like file structures on computers, like folders with files in them. Like that's where data is, and that's how you find it.
Right.
And they're saying it's in the physical world, there's less of an emphasis on actual file storage systems. Like you don't store things in files. You don't hold a bunch of papers. Everything's digital. Your schoolwork is digital. You don't keep a lot of shit. So there's not a lot of need to organize.
Right.
And search engines. You could search for anything. On Mac, it's fucking not Find. Is it Finder? Preview. Spotlight. Jesus fucking
Spotlight.
Spotlight. Well, like Mac keywords. Throwing out Mac keywords.
Yeah.
Spotlight. But even in Windows, like you hit Windows and you just start typing,
Windows search.
it puts the shit up. So it was one of those. I was like, yeah, I could see that. Because like I'll spend like a whole day just organizing my files. I know the path to get to my files.
Yeah.
But like I can understand if somebody's just always searched for them, they don't know where those files are.
I mean, I get that.
They just know like how to get to them.
And I get it. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I
don't
get
either.
It.
I don't either. I think it's silly.
To me, you're willing to not know where things are. So even if it is digital, that means in your life you're willing to fucking just be like, I forgot it.
It's giving up control over things you could control.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's exactly what you were just saying, right? Not knowing how to put together a computer, not knowing how all these pieces, like how you could save money by, you want to order, let's say Framework was the only laptop manufacturer. And there are going to be people that are just going to order it maxed out and pre-built and pre-installed just so they can turn it on and get going.
Great.
But they're throwing away so much money by like just not doing it themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you can build, like I can put in my own baseboards, but I could have paid someone to do it, and I could have not learned anything about baseboards and how you install them, how you do the cutting. But like I did that. I learned those things.
100%.
So now it's like we had that water damage in the one room, so I'm replacing that baseboard. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got to cut this at a 30-degree angle.
We could have not done the drywall.
Yeah, we could have not done the drywall. I could have hired somebody to do this.
Yeah.
But hey, I learned stuff. You taught me how to cut drywall. I didn't know shit about that.
Dude, it's a learning. It's an accomplishment. Dude, people, in my opinion, I don't think people know what a true, like when you accomplish something, what that feeling is.
There's something to be said there.
I don't think they do. Because like to them, like the way, like especially everything you're saying at this point, like if they're willing to like relinquish control and not even care where shit is, then to me that tells me they go to work, they do their job. There's no accomplishment there. They just go to work and do their job and leave. There's no accomplishment there. But you know where I get accomplishment? When I spent all day yesterday fixing 2 cars.
Yeah. I feel you on that. And this is what I was telling you. Like, I think pushing forward with a tech repair business for me, I think is going to be like, I'm going to get part of that from that. I mean, not even going that deep in it.
Dude, not even going that deep in it. If I had the money, I would invest into this company that's doing this. I'd want them to be bigger than both Microsoft
what's funny?
And
you know what's
Apple.
Funny? Linus did.
Good.
They sent him a laptop to review. He reviewed it, believed in it so much that he called, and he was like, how do I invest? And they called him and they're like, yo, we'll give you an option, like an offer, like a way to invest. Good. And he invested $250,000 and he bought another laptop. He bought his own laptop. That's cool, man.
That's what I would do.
And to go to one of my other favorite people on the internet, Louis Rossman, he was talking about this is how you change how shit is done.
Yeah.
Because now somebody else who maybe like a Marquez or whoever, somebody at that same kind of level, same tier, same amount of money, same amount of wealth, sees Linus putting money into that. Maybe they've been wanting to support right to repair, but they don't know how.
Right.
They don't know who to back and what to
right.
Well, he's done the research. He knows his shit. He's the tech guy. He's backing these guys because of right to repair.
I'm backing these guys.
This sounds like somebody I need to back.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And this gives somebody permission because he did that. He did, and I was like, that's good. That's smart. Because that's the thing is like a lot of people, because he was talking to Rich Rebuilds, who is, I fucking love that dude. I love his shit. He does all sorts of fucking crazy shit with his cars. He's building a V8 Tesla. Fucking insane.
He's been building that for a minute.
Yeah, man. But you know what? He showed some of the like wiring shit that they don't show because that shit. I mean, it's wiring. Wiring takes fucking forever.
Oh,
he was showing some of
it. That's why last night went for so long.
He was like, he's like, I don't want to share this stuff. He's like, because it's just wiring. And he shows some of the videos and they're just like pulling wires apart. So I was like, nah, nobody wants to watch that shit.
Fucking bro, it's boring as fuck. It just takes too much fucking time. Like nobody wants to like, oh, you skipped so much you didn't show, and like, who wants to watch that?
Yeah,
you're just fucking swifting through wires. Like it's annoying.
Yeah, he just bought that. He calls it a clown shoe. He bought the BMW.
Oh yeah. The old Z3, I think.
The something. Z3 hatchback.
Yeah.
He bought that, and he was doing the brakes. He was like, nobody wants to see an in-depth brake job on one of these Z3s because like it's a brake job.
Like if
he
you've
put
done one,
it on the new rotor, and he
them.
was like, I took these brakes out. I looked at them, and you see this is all corrosion, so I'm gonna just replace them with these.
Yeah,
and that's all you needed to know. Like, you don't need to see him fit the fucking caliper over it and shit, and like, you don't need to see that. But anyway, they were talking, and Louis Rossman was saying like the biggest thing is that people don't know about right to repair. People aren't aware of it. People aren't aware that there's even like a movement for it. So Louis Rossman, I gotta give him props, man. Like he's going to like different states, and he's talking to like repair shops and talking about right to repair. And I think there is a hint, just a glimmer.
Well, when you're a guy that's constantly proven why people getting quoted a certain amount of money to repair something.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to fight for
dude. I mean, like
something better.
Rich just did a battery repair on a Tesla.
He did get some flack too because
he got a shit ton of flack. He's like, oh, you faked the invoice. Like,
yeah, it's like
we didn't actually take this thing to a Tesla facility
because they wouldn't have fucking. Well, first of all, they couldn't get it to Tesla. I mean, I guess they could have towed it, but like,
right?
It's just like.
But
why
like,
waste
the
time?
Real
but like,
price from previous instances.
This is a price that we would have gotten. Like
that'd be like me saying, oh, like Apple's going to charge you $1,000 for this. Well, I did not take my laptop to Apple to have them tell me to bring me $1,000. But like that's how much they charge.
It's straight up. But yeah, man. I mean that, and I don't agree with that Tesla mentality. That bullshit, like them saying it's going to cost you as much of a car to replace the battery.
Well, it's a simplicity thing, and this is where that whole thing that we were talking about, like, where knowing what you're doing and doing it yourself in some aspects is going to save you a shit ton of money.
Right.
Because, and it's the same reason Apple charges $1,000 for a screen replacement, because what they're doing is they're opening the bottom, disconnecting the screen, slapping in a new screen.
True that.
And that whole assembly, sure, that costs $1,000.
Right.
But if you just replace the fucking screen,
right,
which requires disassembling shit, and it requires more labor,
right,
the part cost significantly diminishes.
Right.
And that's the thing Tesla is going to do the same thing Rich did. They're going to replace the individually bad cells, but then they're just going to replace the whole battery unit on someone else's car with that
Yeah.
repaired cell,
Yeah.
with that repaired unit. Like it's a simplicity thing. Cause that's why, I mean, like when Marquez had an issue with his, I forget what it was, but he had an issue with his Prius, or not Prius,
His
his
Tesla.
Tesla.
But it was
And
gone for a while.
it was gone for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
It was,
It was
a
gone
fucking
for
while.
a while.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I wouldn't want my car to be gone for fucking 4 weeks just for like
Same.
one repair.
I agree.
Like, fuck that. Fuck that.
No, it's nah, man, it's I mean, the perfect example, like what we're doing right now with well, first of all, like we did your wife's Prius yesterday for
Yeah.
the suspension. That suspension job would have probably ended up costing you
Easy a grand.
600 to 600 to a grand if it's wood parts. Labor, I think alone, what they would have charged you like $600-700.
Well, yeah, because it took you guys what, 3 hours?
It took us maybe 2 hours for the two of us to get it done.
2 hours. Let's say it would have taken 3 hours for one person. Let's say it was one technician, 3 hours.
Right.
That's by itself, and that's like a bare bones shop. Is $600.
Yeah,
just for that labor.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day,
all
like,
it cost me was brotherly love and Portillo's.
I'm saying, and like what we did, what me and Anthony did then afterwards with my car, where we fucking installed a whole new head
Oh
unit
my
and a
god,
reverse camera.
that's custom work. That's
It's like, it's at the end of the day, man. It's, I don't know. I don't understand this mentality. Like we've always talked about it. I do spend some stuff on convenience.
of course.
But if I can
Yeah,
learn it and do it myself and save myself a shit ton of money, I'll never understand it. I won't accept it.
I mean, that's why I cracked open fucking 2 screens here.
Yeah, man.
I cracked open 2 screens to try to fix them. The one went bad again, but whatever. It ran for 2 days without problem. So I don't know what the actual issue is.
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, could be a bad power supply or whatever.
100%.
That's got a pretty big chunk.
There's trial and error, but at the end of the day, you're still learning. Like you are gaining knowledge.
Oh yeah.
You yourself are getting knowledge. So later down the road, let's say your fucking ass
replacing the screen on this fucking LG wing. That was fucking learning.
Yeah, exactly, man. Fucking like let's say when I take the 4Runner down trip to Texas to show it off, because I showed sneak peeks to Ty, who gave me the car, and he showed it to his dad, and like they were shocked. Like they just a little bit they saw, they were like, holy shit, it's like a new car. And I'm like, that's the point. The point is I can take this.
Speaking of which, did you get the new wiper? Like just a fucking maintenance question. Did you get the new wiper?
Yeah. The wipers are here. I just I didn't get a chance to install it because we got super like.
Oh, and that's gonna be a video too, right?
I wanted to do a quick video just because that information is not easily available.
It took us 3 weeks to find it.
I know. So I was like, if I release this as a video, like it's going to be super helpful to people.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to get me views, but the thing is, it's helpful. It's like the actual information on it is super helpful.
Hey, it's okay to want views if you're providing real value. And I think
100%,
that's what,
100%,
to me, like
man.
This video where I'm going to talk about this fucking LG wing screen replacement, this community is active. People want to talk about the LG wing.
Oh yeah.
So like to me, talking about all these things, talking about what went wrong, that's value.
Yeah, 100%, man. People love the LG wing. The fact that LG a little after it released was like, yeah, we're canceling phones. Like what?
That was so, bro. I keep watching that reveal of that rolling phone because they went to CES. They're like, rolling phone next, bitches. And I was like, well, I know what I'm buying next.
I know.
And then they were like, a month later, they're like, oh, we're out of the phone game now. And I was like, what the fuck?
Fucking weird, dude. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, is shit worth it? Somebody's gonna say it's worth it to them, but like if they actually really sat down and looked at it, like these companies have raised their prices on products, both cars, electronics, whatever, but yet they're not paying their employees more. Like at the end of the day, they're still making shit ton of profit, and even more so because they keep raising their price, but So yeah, to me, when I say it's not worth it, I mean like in more, not necessarily I don't see the value in it. Even the value doesn't make that worth it, the money that it is. Because you do still have to sit back and be like, is that really worth that much money when you when you take a look at what's gotten into it, and what do those components like cost me, not what they cost the company, because they're going to cost less for it. What are those components on their own cost me? If they cost me less than what I'm being charged to build this system because it's a pre-built, well, something's wrong there, because that means it costs even less for the company to make it.
Right.
So the profit's still there. It's just, it's like you're not just
It's
thinking about why it might not be the right
it's
move.
I think it's a short-term mindset versus long-term mindset kind of
100%.
thing.
100%.
It's and that's Linus like talked about this a lot as far as when he was talking about his investment into framework. He was talking about the reason their shit is expensive now is because they are placing the order for parts after they get the order for the computer. So
Right.
they are buying in small volume. They don't
Right.
get a 200,000 unit discount from Western Digital for buying 200,000
Right.
SSDs.
Right.
So they are taking a small margin, a very small margin, to try to keep that price down, but also still to have some profit to put into the next round. That like he was talking about, he's like, I've got relationships with Asus and I've got relationships with AMD. He's like, if we can get them into AMD processors, they might be able to make a even more price conscious, like they're not trying to, their whole premise here is not to make a shit ton of money off of this. It's to produce this thing that is friendly and
100%, man.
repairable, and
it should be friendly and repairable. The fact that we're accepting the shit's not repairable, literally, like you are not able to repair it.
It is pretty sad. Like people just fell into that really easily. People fell into the, oh, it's broken, I'll just buy another one.
I don't understand that, man.
Like people
That's
fell
just
into that
crazy
pretty
to me.
hard, and I don't get it. I do not get
that.
it.
I do not understand that either, because that's a harsh, like that's, how can you accept that? How can you just be like, okay, I guess I have to buy a whole new unit? That ain't cheap. I don't know about you, but that's not a cheap thing to do. So it's crazy, man. But I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Right. It is what it is. Let's do a quick shift. I want to talk about some media shit, some shows and movies and
yeah,
stuff
let's
we've
do
watched.
it. Yeah.
That was
How
Tangent started. That was
that is how Tangent started.
We did movie
Quick. Speaking of all, movies and TV shows, have you watched any of Y yet?
I have not watched any Y. I am finishing up. I'm on like one or two episodes away from finishing up the latest season of Rick and Morty. They made it a little more like actual storyline season. So there's like like the things from like the last two episodes and like stuff from last season like has kind of come back. So that was cool to like actually get a little more story, because a lot of it's just like situational. But no, like I watching that. What did I just finish? I was watching something that I just like finished the whole season of or something. But I'm current on Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, okay.
Current on that. That's my like weekly. What If and Lower Decks is like my weekly thing that I'm watching.
Right.
What If has been interesting. Some dude on TikTok tried to fight me on it and be like, oh, all these universes are like dark and there's no like resolution. It just ends up in this like dark reality. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like that's kind of how the comics were. Like not every What If was, and then they were happy and lived great afterwards. That's not how most of them were. And he's like,
What If is literally the worst of the possibility, or at least
it's not necessarily the worst of. It's just other possibilities, but it's just
right. Other possibilities.
So happens that a lot of those possibilities are bad.
But because a lot of times, especially with Marvel, a lot of it turns out better, right? Ultimately, it turns out better, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, whatever
So,
happens,
so
the good guys win.
right. So the alternative of that is gonna be darker.
You're right.
like,
You're right.
like it's just
Because I was
just how it is.
like, the comics were just like that as well. I was like, what if 114 in volume 2 ended literally with the kids getting to Earth in like a Days of Future Past kind of scenario with all sentinels going around everywhere, and they've subjugated humanity, and all the like OG heroes are back on this other fucking battle planet, and these young heroes are there, and that's the last fucking page. And I, like, to this day, 20 fucking years later, I'm like, more of that fucking story, please.
Right, like that's it. Like, that's
like they walked into on, oh, we've just arrived to the worst case scenario that we've been warned about for years. Yeah, let's try to fix it. Let's try to fight it. And I'm like, yes, miniseries, 12 issue, whatever the fuck, give me something. And he's like, oh, what about the other 113 issues? And I was like, don't fucking make me do this. It's like, I will do it. I won't like it, but I will fucking do it.
I'll look for every 113 issue and I'll prove to you that you're
off. I pulled them up and I was like, issue one of What If Ever, the first one ever from 1967 or whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? Because in Spider-Man #1, Amazing Spider-Man #1, he goes to the Baxter Building and he's like, I should join you guys, but like, you guys trapped me, so screw you, I'm out. Like, it was Peter Parker was Parker was a different guy in the early days.
Yeah, he was different. He was different back then.
But in this version, he stays and he joins the Fantastic Four. They become the Fantastic Five, and like he like upstages Sue because Sue's so young. I guess she like runs to Namor, and Namor turns her into an Atlantean. And in the last moments of that issue, she comes out of the machine. She's changed, but the chamber that they're in is filled with air, and she's an Atlantean now. He's like, oh shit, you can't breathe air like I can. So he breaks the fucking machine not like he couldn't just punch the window open. He takes the machine and throws it through the window. So he breaks the machine. So now she's Atlantean forever.
Oh.
So the end of this issue is Sue Storm becomes an Atlantean.
Oh.
Johnny Storm is like, if you had not joined the Fantastic Four, things would have probably worked out the same way. And it was like the end. And I was like, the fuck?
Oh man. Well, that's but no, it's not. Listen,
like, it's not meant to be, oh, what are the other great ways it could have gone? Like, that's not what it's about. It's about exploring what would have happened if you just turned the dial a little to the left. Because what was it? I mean, in the first episode was the Captain America story, right? It was the Captain Carter.
Yeah.
She gets the powers instead of him, and it was like he was going towards the machine, got blown away, knocked out.
Yeah,
that's all it was. The like explosion went off early.
Yeah.
And they had already started the thing, and she's like, "Fuck it, someone's got to do it," and she jumps into the thing.
Yep.
That was the only thing. He just got thrown away from the fucking machine. He didn't go in. She went in because someone had to. Otherwise, they've wasted this whole thing. Literally. And I was like, yeah, that's what this whole premise is just exploring. I mean, it's literally like, oh, that fucking story that I tell every time where I'm like, oh, I fucking use some Need for Speed skills to avoid slamming into a fucking truck. Yeah. I jumped lanes. Hold on, Erica, can you get these dogs? I jumped lanes, but I'm like, what if I hadn't turned left into the oncoming lane?
Yeah, what if
smashed into that truck and that ends poorly? Like, there's not like an alternate way that ended well, right? Not that I can think of, really. Right. Or like suddenly my brakes work perfectly, right? Like,
because usually, like, even if it's not, it doesn't go well. Even though it doesn't go well. Even though it doesn't go well necessarily, like perfect, even though, let me rephrase it, even if it doesn't go perfect in the main story, usually it ends up decent, right? Not great, not good, but decent. Yes, you could say, oh, it ends up great. Let's be real. Decent is about what we're going to get in real life, and decent is what we're going to get when we're superheroes too. So, even if you're not a superhero, you barely get.
You're still in the bathroom.
So it's like, usually the opposite of that is probably not going to end up decent. Like, it's going to be decent for the person that hates you, but probably not you as a superhero.
Right. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was like it's a good show. It's a really good show. You know what they released? I don't. Did you ever watch Leverage?
They released a new season. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
that blew me away. I still haven't seen
I've
it because
never,
I
ironically,
watched it. I watched it a long time ago, and I want to like rewatch it
yeah.
to watch the new season. But like that was so like when I saw that,
Ironically,
I was like,
I only watched a little bit. I wish I watched more. I mean, listen, I can always watch
I'm
more,
sure
but
it's on something.
right,
There are
exactly. I'm sure it's someone,
all of the streaming services are here now.
dude,
This
and we
something.
pretty much have them all at this point.
Yeah, we
So
got pretty
holy
much access
shit.
to all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to catch up on Titans. Now they're talking about Damian Wayne.
Oh fucking Christ! That
Like they're
fuck.
gonna have all the damn Robins. And
Holy
if
shit!
they put in Damian Wayne and they don't put in Stephanie Brown, I'm gonna be salty because that's a lot of male Robins, and you're just gonna skip the one girl Robin. Like for fuck's sake,
That's true. That's
that's gonna be
true.
annoying. Like even if she just shows up for like, oh, this is like a temporary thing, and then she leaves, and like the next time we see her, she's Batgirl.
Right,
I'm
right,
fine
right,
with
right.
that. But because I think Oracle's in it, which means that Barbara has already been shot.
Right, 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 right.
I don't know. We're still on season 2. I don't think we ever finished fucking Swamp Thing. I don't think we ever finished.
No, because we got mad.
Because we got mad that they canceled it.
They canceled it. Like
but
there
they
was
brought
no
it to CW. Let me see. Did they ever break Swamp Thing season 2? Is Swamp Thing? This was January this year. Is Swamp Thing returning? Let's see. CW president confirmed that Swamp Thing performed well digitally for the CW too, but that its just return for new original episodes is unlikely. That's dumb.
I mean, which is stupid because it performed extremely well on their streaming service.
And apparently it performed well for CW digitally as well.
That's fucking
because they had it on there between seasons, I think.
That's stupid.
Like silly. Friggin' silly.
No, that's idiotic in my opinion. That just like it's done well. There's absolutely no reason for them to.
It was well made. It just I don't know, man. Like it's one of those things that
I mean, even the people, the cast, they were like the cast talking on the behalf of the crew too. Were like, we thought we were doing a season 2. Like we thought that was a go.
Yeah, we put the shit down. We didn't put the shit away. We put the shit down to come back.
We put the shit down to come back. Like we didn't put it away because we were like, nah, this is not going anywhere. We were 100% certain. And you don't normally hear that. Normally, cast and crew will tell you like, we didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
But these guys were like, dude, this show was fucking fire. We for sure were going. So to me, it's like, I just don't get it. I don't understand why they would not. Like, I know there was rumors. They were saying like, oh, it's money. It was a money thing. It was this
shit. It was shot in the dark. Granted, maybe that's like more expensive cameras, but like it was shot in the dark. Damn near no special effects. Granted, makeup, but like makeup is not as expensive as fucking CG. So right. I don't know. I don't think it was a price thing.
I don't think it was a price on making it. I think it was the whole tax thing. With the city they shot at.
That's right. They were fucking around with the tax.
Codes. Supposedly like fucking they wouldn't give them the tax break that they were supposed to get or some shit. And I'm like, really? That did it? Like that was the big.
It just seems like they could have done it better and like executed it without having to deal with all this tax shit. It's silly. It got silly and
super silly, super dumb, super bad decisions.
I was gonna ask how are you with like early 90s sci-fi? I was gonna say we should watch the original series.
Oh man, I don't know.
They have plant sex, hottest. They have plant sex.
Listen, some stuff I can watch because I go back and watch. I mean, shit.
I'm
watching Baywatch.
No shit.
Yeah.
No, wow.
Oh, I've been watching Baywatch. I mean,
did you ever try watching the Flash show? It's on HBO Max. It's on HBO Max.
No, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't watched a lot of things on HBO Max. I don't know. I've been slowing down, man. For some reason, here's what I want, right? So I have my four or five shows that I always wait for now during the season. The Rookie, um, Prodigal Son, FBI, and FBI Most Wanted, and there's one more. I can't remember what the other one was. So those are, for some reason, I just enjoy those shows. Like when I sit down, I can just watch them and I feel like that was a good show for what the show is.
Right.
That was a good episode. And outside of those, I'm always like, I want something good. And the problem is nothing feels that satisfactory.
You gotta give it, man. Do you have Apple TV Plus?
I do, yeah.
You
Yeah.
should. I know you can watch it through the browser. I don't know if you have a Apple TV or whatever, but you can watch it through the browser. You can watch For All Mankind. Yes, For All Mankind. Good fucking show. Good fucking show. It's an alt history. So it's set in like, it starts, well, it's not set, but it starts in like 1964 or whatever, 65. And basically the premise is, what if instead of Americans being first on the moon, it was the Russians? Because I think in real life, the first human in space was a Russian cosmonaut, I think.
Sure.
But then like America was like, all right, we're gonna go to the moon. So
right.
we got somebody in space, and then we're like, we're gonna go to the moon. Well, in this version, the Russians got there first. So because the Russians kept beating them and shit, the Americans got uppity. They're like, nah, fuck that. We're coming to the moon. And then Buzz and Neil almost fucking crash and die. This is all like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, okay, we made it to the moon. Like we were second, but like we made it. And then the Russians are like, boom, first woman on the moon. So that it just becomes this whole fucking dick measuring contest because the Americans can't like win anything. They keep
right. I got
so
you.
because of that, throughout it just keeps getting faster and faster. Like the shit all happens faster.
Right.
They keep doing more and more shit. And by like, I think how far, I mean, like midway through season 1, I think there's a moon base. So like by like 1969, we have a base on the moon with humans living there.
Well, here's what I'll say. So like there's a show called C on Apple TV Plus with Jason Momoa. I watched the first episode.
Watch it so bad.
I watched the first episode and I was like, it's not bad, but it's still, I don't know. I get
the premise was stupid as shit.
I thought the premise was actually good. Like all humans,
because if they're all blind, how do they know the baby's not blind?
Well, that's the thing. They don't mention it. That's the thing. They don't mention it. That's not what's happening in the first. Like the baby is born. They don't talk about sight. They just assume everybody's blind still. Like they don't even know. They're just getting attacked for different reasons. They're not even like, that's why like I don't understand why the commercial
trailer was definitely
I know because that's not,
and they want this baby.
No, dude, they just like went after him because
I saw the trailer for season 3 and I was like, oh, they're still fighting over who's gonna fucking be able to see and shit. And I was like, eh.
So that was interesting. But so then I saw a commercial for Foundation, which looks crazy. But I know incredible. I'm gonna. But here's the thing, I'm gonna start watching it, and I know for a fact it's gonna take the first 5 episodes before I see any piece of action.
It depends.
And I don't want that. I do not want that. Listen, I get you got to tell. Okay. Oh, the other one, Blacklist. I can't believe I forgot. Here's a perfect example of a show.
Still on?
Yeah, and there's a reason why it's still on.
Fuck, dude, I'll never watch that show. That's like 9 seasons now.
No, it's on 7. This will be 7th.
That's many seasons.
I mean, they're going to end it soon for sure because they don't have much to go. But
well, I mean, they're about to run out of fucking material because they're the IASTA or whatever the fuck, they're going on strike.
No,
so all the fucking crew.
But here's the thing. Here's a perfect example. Every episode has something going on, right? They got to figure out a case. But then there's the bigger story. Same thing like I keep talking about the Mandalorian. Mandalorian, every episode, he had to go on a mission. But then there was the bigger story, which was to get the baby over to the proper.
That's why I think you'll like Discovery. Discovery
And
is very
I
much like
believe
that.
I believe I would enjoy, because Discovery, the way it was shown to me, and looking at right now the trailer that they got automatically playing for Foundation, looks fucking fantastic. But I'm like, I bet you all that action I just saw is literally all the action out of the 9 episodes they're gonna release. So like,
Oh shit, they got a trailer for the 4400. I
so
can't
to
believe they're remaking that. Cannot believe they're remaking that.
so to me it's
I
like
love that show.
to me it's like, if you're gonna listen, I get there's different ways of telling stories, and I'm all for that. But when I'm watching shows that I know for a fact would play better if you
Right.
did it this way, and I'm bored, you're doing something wrong. And you got to understand, I don't bore easily. I'm not those people that can't sit through a 2-minute YouTube video that need 30 seconds and that's it. Like, I can sit through shit. I watch fucking 50-minute YouTube videos. Like, I will watch shit as long as it's good, but it has to be good. So if you're boring me because the only thing you can focus on is relationship drama or other types of drama, but it hasn't, like, you have this potential of providing so much more entertainment while telling the story. I can't take the time anymore
Oh,
to
that's right. That's
watch it.
right. It's the thing where she becomes the new like fortune teller through math or whatever, and the civilization is gonna fall.
Oh,
The
that's what
empire,
Foundation is.
the empire is gonna, yeah, the empire, the dude, the white dude is the,
Yeah,
he's like
yeah,
he's the guy she's replacing,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, they didn't like my fucking forecast or whatever the fuck he calls it, and he's like, the empire is gonna fall and all this shit is
Right.
gonna happen.
So
Which to me, anytime somebody says the empire is gonna fall, well, that means the empire was doing something wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
for
empire
sure.
probably
Now,
should
don't get me
fall.
wrong. So there is a show on HBO Max. It's called Warrior, and it was originally, I think it still is a Cinemax, which is part of HBO Max or something like that. I don't know
It
how
is
that
now,
works.
yeah. Oh,
It,
they're bringing over Pennyworth, I
oh,
think.
okay,
I
okay.
think.
Which would have been smart to have, whatever. But Warrior is a fun show, right? There is action, but it still tries to focus so much on the drama aspect. Like, I can't express. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm overdoing it. I'm not a Star Wars fan, man. I'm not. I don't care for the original trilogy. The middle trilogy was boring as fuck, but I sat through it because
Wait, are you saying that the Galactic Council meetings weren't riveting? They didn't keep you on the edge of your seats?
they didn't do it for me. Um, but when you do something like The Mandalorian, and I can sit there and actually fucking just cannot wait to watch the next episode, that tells you already that you've won.
It was a really well put together show. There's just no
Like, it really was. So like, if if a category of movies can do something that it took until the most recent movies for to grab my attention, if show from that universe can really make me that satisfied, tells me that it's doable. It
yeah,
just tells me that there's a lot less people that can write that good, which is
100%.
which is what hurts.
Put it to you this way. This is another thing. I I mean, I'm a ridiculous Star Trek fan.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
fucking love Star Trek.
yeah.
I will watch, and I did watch, and next time I watch everything in order, I will watch the original show, the fucking animated series, both of which are bad. There are some good episodes,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
overall, TOS is not good. It's
Right,
not like very exciting. The costuming is meh.
right,
Like the best costuming is good.
right,
Like the best of the 3 seasons, the best they ever did is just good.
right.
So it's not a great show. Now there's going to be Star Trek fans that are like, "Oh, it's the best show. All the other ones suck." sure, whatever. That's nostalgia talking. That's not
We've
pragmatic.
talked about that plenty of
Yeah,
times.
because what I enjoy the shit out of is watching them figure out what this show and this universe was going to be, because in the whole first season all the shit gets called 5 different ways.
Yeah.
Starfleet Command didn't become Starfleet Command, I think, until season 2. Like,
That's the original, right? Where it was black and white. Like,
I don't think it was. It might have been black and white
I
to
think
begin with.
I think the first episode was black and white.
Might have been.
Something
it's
like
all
that.
in color now. I mean, like,
it's on color. But that's the one with William Shatner.
Shatner.
Yeah,
who is, by the way, going to space now on one of Bezos' space penises.
Of course he is. Of course, dude. It's William Shatner. That man is.
If I was Bezos, I would have paid for him.
I know, right?
I wouldn't even charge them.
I got you.
You deserve
dog.
this.
No, you're good.
I'm doing this because of you. You deserve this seat.
Yeah, you're good. But I tried watching. I think the first like 5 episodes. I think I watched, and I was like, Dom was right. Like, they just keep changing shit. Like, they change costumes. They change
the colors were off. I think he wore red in one episode. Spock wore yellow in one episode. Like, they didn't know who was gonna wear what.
And I was like,
shirts were different material, like episode to episode.
Dude.
None of it made sense. But to me, I'm a process junkie. That's my shit. Watching them go through that process, because to me, like, you could go back and like cut that out, re-edit shit.
Oh yeah,
like have someone re-say the line. So like, oh, Captain Starfleet Command on the line on the first episode. That would play fine. I don't know that it would improve the experience.
Right.
But to me, it doesn't matter. But just like when they went back and added a bunch of aliens to Tatooine when they were on the first in the like remastered fucking Star Wars, they added all the version you watched. I'm sure you watched the remastered. All those aliens, when they go to that bar, when they go to Mos Eisley, when he goes with Obi-Wan to meet Han Solo.
Yeah.
The scene where they pull in, there's that fucking giant alien walking across, like one dude riding a dinosaur looking thing. None of that shit was there before.
Yep.
None of that shit was there.
Yep.
And what's funny to me is the old version to me is better, because it like showed kind of like the desolation. Like, he's not a backward shit little dust ball.
Yeah, agreed.
This is not a hub of activity.
Right.
Like,
agreed.
So when they added all that shit, I was like, I mean, I guess, like, whatever. But even then, like, even their best showing, I've never been like a huge Star Wars fan. I like some of the aspects to it. Personally, I would love to watch, like, Mandalorian's a great example, because that's a lot of like lore building, and like it's kind of coming from a perspective of someone who's not in that, like, he's not a Jedi. He doesn't know shit about Jedi. He has his own lore. He has his own rituals and shit, which I appreciate. But I would like to see just like someone go through Jedi school, and like, because supposedly they build their own, like, they go and find their own fucking, I think they're called kyber crystals.
To build their sword.
They build the whole fuck. I'm interested in that. What's that process like? What are the trials to like get stone? Like, what do you got to go through to get the fucking rock?
Right.
So you can build this fucking laser sword.
Right.
Like,
and make it an adventure, make it like.
Yeah, like that's the shit I'm interested in. But like, oh, another space testicle that's gonna shoot death beams at planets. Okay, cool.
It's I don't know, man. It's hard for me to wanna dive into another series, just because I'm always concerned, like, great, I've put in this, let's say 5 episodes, 5 hours in, and now I'm bored, but I can't stop because I got, like, my brain needs to know how this goes to. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna cancel. Oh, fuck you.
I feel you.
Like,
that's why I'm a little concerned about the 4400, because it is going to be on the CW. I don't know how well it's going to do, because I feel like the era that it came out
they
of,
canceled the 4400. They never finished it.
No, they finished it poorly, but they finished it.
Oh.
They, like, the last season was it was not written well. It got pretty damn wild in the last.
I thought if I
But that's where I first learned about Mahershala Ali. That's when I knew he was a good ass fucking actor. But like, his character like 180'd in that last season. He just became like, I think he became a bad guy for the first half of the season.
Oh, well,
Like all of a sudden he was, because like his daughter was like this fucking super evil and whatever shit. Like it just became really messy. Like it kind of did the same thing that all the other fucking sci-fi shows do. Like Andromeda, the last season of Andromeda, fucking went insane. It lost its damn mind. I mean, they made a fucking Hercules reference. Same thing happened. Yeah. It's the fucking same shit happened on season 3, I think, of Enterprise. 2 or 3, like, or at least part of 3,
right.
where they went into some fucking nebula and all the fucking rules went out the window.
Yeah,
And I was like, why? We went into a nebula? Like, we didn't just, because all of a sudden he's like a badass. He's gonna kill them because they attacked her. By the way, I found out all of that shit came from the fact that season 1, like midway through season 1, or like 3-4 episodes into season 1, 9/11 happened.
Oh wow.
So then that show became, oh, this Zindi weapon showed up, blew apart a chunk of the fucking planet, not the planet, but like it took like a swipe out of the eastern part of North America,
Right.
just like a swath, like fucking Florida gone,
Right,
like New York gone.
Right.
And then we as Earthers are like motherfuckers. So he was apparently like, he started chasing down these bad guys, and we didn't know who the fuck Zindi were. It turned out that they were this fucking conglomerate of bad guys, and it just became this whole thing. But then when he got to the fucking nebula, like, oh, we're almost there, we've almost got him, he was like, fuck Starfleet, we're just gonna go fuck kill these motherfuckers. I was like, whoa, sir.
Deep.
Like,
yeah, man, it's
I think
it's,
you will like.
it's hard to jump into. It's hard to want to jump into new series, considering there's 2 factors that come into play. Like, one, is it going to get enough viewers where the fucking network won't cancel it?
Yeah,
that's a big one.
And I think that's one to be concerned about for network shows, for sure. That's why, like I said, the 4400. I don't know how that's going to play. I'm interested to see this trailer, but I don't know how that's going to play in the modern times, because that's like, I mean, again, they're probably going to change the story to suit modern times. But I think Roswell's still on, and I didn't think that was going to fucking fly.
I'm shocked that lasted.
Roswell, New Mexico. Yeah, this one, Wikipedia. Renewed for a 4th season.
Yeah,
I mean, it's clearly doing well.
Yeah,
but I guarantee you, fucking you, this is more about the fucking interpersonal drama than anything else.
100%.
That's kind of what CW is about, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why I'm kind of concerned about the 4400. Like, is this just going to be about interpersonal drama, and there's like a sprinkling of fucking superpowers and alien shit? And I think it ended up being a time travel thing. Whatever. This is fucking weird show. But it's like what if they were to restart Eureka? You know what I mean?
I hope not. That started and ended fine.
Yeah, lots of things did.
Yeah,
but I
know.
What are they? I just read something that they're going to do a season 3 of something, or a season 3 or something, or a 3rd movie of something that like hasn't been on in like 10, 20 years. I forget what the fuck it was, but like they're somebody pointed this out. They're like, oh, they're running out of material. They ran out of material a long fucking time ago.
No. John Campbell will yell at you and tell you they've had 100 original movies.
We just don't watch them. But like I watched Fish Sex, or what the fuck was it called? The Shape of Water. I just call it Fish Sex. But that was like a Guillermo del Toro, and like it was a creature thing, and like I was into that fucking weird musical part in the middle, fucking out of this world weird.
Here's the thing: even if they're not running out of original ideas, nobody's giving them, either they're not doing them good, or nobody's giving them a chance.
Nobody's giving them a chance. But even if you like look at something that I thought was going to be great, I think you thought it was going to be great, but Gemini Man, because that was like, oh, we're doing this whole new technology, we're doing this fucking crazy thing.
Can I say something?
I was like, I was so sad about it.
Can I say something?
What?
That was more disappointing to me than the other movie that was done by M. Night. What's it called?
After Earth.
and I didn't even fully watch After Earth, and
I
I was
liked I'm still mad about After Earth more because I like the story in Gemini Man better. It wasn't like really really well written. It kind of like had a messy finish. I wasn't a big fan of like the execution, but I like the story that they were doing. I think that it had potential to be more and better, but I think they relied on that technology shit too much because
they
they were like, oh, I've
focused too
had that.
much.
Because they were like,
They
oh, we've had
focused.
this script for 20 years, but we just didn't have the technology.
Here's the thing: they focused too much on the technology as a thing, as a commercial pull for the movie.
Yeah.
It was bad technology thing because the visuals were not good,
I just didn't understand. Like they made this big fucking deal out of it. And then
and they were not
I was
good. They
like,
were
have
for
y'all seen
what
an
they were.
MCU movie? Like,
Dude, for what they were pushing. Yeah, I'm saying for
y'all
what they
seen an
were pushing.
MCU movie? Like, this was
I'm
not.
saying, dude, for what they were pushing, I was like, fuck, this is gonna be end game level shit. Nah, this is like B-rated movie and level. And then
I
on top of
was
that,
blown
because
away.
they were so focused on that, the story felt rushed. Like
It felt rushed. Like, yeah, like I said, like exactly. That's a great point. It felt rushed because the whole story with, oh, there was multiple. I mean, fucking spoilers if anyone.
yeah.
But like the fact that there were multiple clones, the fact that they're
Yeah.
this like, and like
Super rushed,
the
dude.
motivations of the bad guy were just kind of like thrown together. It just felt like,
Oh
oh, well,
yeah.
this guy's just been an asshole this whole time. Like he was always going to be an asshole.
Nah, it was
It just
super.
it could have been so much more.
It was
Fuck me, dude. You know what it could have been? It could have been Bad Boys 4 if they just let it breathe for a minute and redid it. And
oh
that
yeah.
could have been him. That could have been the flashback movie to that fucking whole thing that they based the kid on in 3.
Dude, it was
But
it
like,
was super disappointing, man.
but I'm still so mad at After Earth because After Earth wasn't a movie. It was a season 3 premiere of a good show.
No, I
I
don't
was so
you know,
mad
I
about
get
that
it. I
because I
get
was
what you're
like,
saying.
that first 20 minutes, I need 3 seasons of that. I need Earth coming to this new planet and finding these creatures and not knowing how
Right.
to fight them, and oh, fucking mutation, and this one dude can fight them and he fucking kicks their ass. Like that's the shit that I need.
I mean, dude, I don't. I
That's I'm
get it,
still mad
man.
about
But
that. I'm still
I
so mad
was,
about
I
that.
was, I was very much like that's a perfect example. Like I love Will Smith, dude. I'll watch fucking Will Smith shit. You put
Yeah,
it in front of
I'll
me,
watch
I'll be
any
like, let's
days.
watch it. But that was like that's a perfect example. That's an original. I think that's an original idea from what I understand.
The Gemini Man thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like it's got elements of other things, but
right. I mean, I'm not saying in the sense of like,
it is in effect. By the way, fun fact, I just came to me. It's basically Star Trek Insurrection or Nemesis. Nemesis. It's basically Star Trek Nemesis.
right. I'm not
Remember
saying.
Tom Hardy played a clone of Jean-Luc Picard.
Let me rephrase this. I'm not saying that the idea, the basic of the idea is original. I mean, like the actual story, right? It's not something we've had before. Like it's not a redoing of Gemini
It
Man.
was an interesting take on a bunch of different tropes. I mean, like the I'm an aging super spy and I was really good at this one thing and I almost missed this time. That means I gotta retire. That's not new.
Right,
But that was
right,
one part of a greater narrative. It
right.
wasn't just about him retiring. It was this whole thing. Like I think that they combined a lot of interesting tropes and a lot of interesting little things that have been in other movies and shows and stuff. But
Yeah.
it like you said, it was rushed. It was rushed, and
So it's hard.
it
It's
could have
hard
been
for me.
better.
Yeah, it's hard for me to jump in and plus you got companies like fucking HBO or Warner or whatever you want to call them that don't know what they're doing with a universe. Like
Oh yeah, anything that's going to be like correlated.
it's just it's
I'm not like super interested in like spin-off shows.
yeah, man.
Honestly, the only like consistent thing that's done that like well over years, NCIS and like SV, like Law and Order. And even Law and Order, like SVU is not really related to the main show anymore.
Well, that's why FBI works because FBI is the same guy that made all those. So
I'm saying it's like you have this thing, and it's like, all right, I'm going to take the basic ingredients, and then we're going to sprinkle in New Orleans,
Yeah,
jazz, yeah, like
that's a
some lake shit,
yeah.
corrupt
It's
mayor. Boom,
yeah,
that's what we're
yeah.
doing.
It's and I don't know, man. Here's the thing. You know what I am jumping into? I am jumping into NCIS New Orleans because I like the actors and actresses that are in that, and I was like,
That was
this
the
one.
thing. They're talking about a Quantum Leap reboot, or not a reboot, but like a Quantum Leap, like because he never like they never finished that show. It ends with him
I
just like
know, I
disappearing or
know,
whatever.
I know, I know. So like essentially,
Quantum Leap. Um,
but yeah. So at the end of the day, man, it's hard for me to wanna
yeah,
jump into.
Scott Bakula says significant conversation occurring about a Quantum Leap. It does say reboot.
Um, it's hard for me to jump in, but let's talk about some of the stuff you had on the fucking on the itinerary here. Let's I know you wanted to talk about a few movies and a few shows. We went
Kate,
deep. Kate. Kate was a good movie.
Did you
Kate
watch
was
Gunpowder Milkshake?
that was what I was looking for. I couldn't remember the fucking title. So I was like, fuck.
You should watch it. You should
No,
watch it.
I did not, but Kate was a good watch, man. It was a good one and done. Good, story
And I've
we've
missed
seen.
those. I've missed a good
I missed those
one-off
too, yeah.
movie, man. It's
Done.
there. It's been so damn long. Because even going back
Oh
to
yeah.
stuff that was originally written as a one-off, like the first Matrix,
Right,
even
right,
though it was written as a one and done, they didn't plan on making sequels.
right,
It still didn't like end. Like it
right,
opened the universe, and there
right,
could have been more easily.
right.
So there hasn't been. I mean, like I just can't really think of a movie that like ended.
This one ended,
This
and
ended.
and that's why I was happy.
It was good. It
I didn't
ended.
need another movie. I want. Here's the thing. In all honesty, here's how you do a multi-movie thing. You end each movie, and then if you want to do a third one or a fourth one or a fifth one, you don't have to leave us hanging, because if it never comes, we
Here,
won't be disappointed
dude, it
because the
worked.
first one ended.
The only problem with that is you end up with the Schumacher effect. Batman, good movie, standalone, finishes. Batman 2 pretty much ignores the chick from the first one. For some reason. I don't think they ever mention her in Batman Returns, the girlfriend.
Here's the thing.
But
I
that
get
movie
what,
finishes. That movie finishes. He puts away the bad guys.
but here's the thing.
Done.
Here's the thing, though.
Batman Forever. It finishes. He's got a Robin now, but like it finishes.
I get what you're saying, but that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so back then they didn't think about sequels. They didn't think about how do we make this a giant universe. Now they do. They constantly think like, how can we milk $8 billion trillion out of
Oh
50
yeah,
movies
yeah.
in one universe?
But I'm just
So
saying, like
if you're gonna
that's
think
what you
about
could
that,
run
right?
into.
Right,
That's
but
what you
no,
could
but
run into.
you
But if you
could, of course, but you could run into that going into
a
what's his
planned
name?
sequel series,
What's his name? Yeah, playing sequel, like Iron Man. Iron Man 2, guess what? Rhodey ain't the same dude. You ran into it, even though you planned for a
that
fucking
was so dumb.
fucking universe beyond any universe you've ever imagined.
Well,
Like
they technically, I mean, they weren't planning.
they were at that point.
I think
A
they were planning
fucking
up to Avengers.
doesn't matter. They were planning a lot. And at the end of the day, it still happened. So this is how you approach it. Hey, we'd love to make more than one movie, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this movie. I'm gonna have you all on contract for 50 films, and I want to make that many films, but we don't know if they're gonna do it or not. So we'll make this first one. It's gonna be a full story, full finish. No fucking let's hold you by the balls. Maybe you'll get a second one. Maybe you won't. No, no, no. You finish it. It works. It's done. All right. We made enough money to make you happy. Cool. Number 2 is coming out.
And that's why I think Iron Man, the first Ant-Man to a point, because it didn't really like interact a lot with anything else.
Right.
The first Thor leaves quite a bit. I mean, like, he throws Loki jumps off the bridge is broken. Like, you're like, oh, how will he get back to?
Yeah, I
what's her
mean,
thing?
even the first Guardians, they all pretty much ended. The thing is Kate, like Kate is a perfect example. Like that movie ended.
Yeah.
You could do a number 2 movie about another assassin in the same world, or about the organization, because he couldn't been the only organization of assassins.
Well, like, yeah, you could do something where
Or you can do
the
more about the
girl,
Yakuza.
yeah, you could do something where the dude's daughter, like, is grown up and she's, I don't
But the
know.
thing is, but
I
the
don't know.
thing
Like,
is,
it's hard. Like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, what can we do with the next movie? That it was written really well to be done, because like her bad guy is dead. Her,
sure,
like, she's dead. Her
but
bad guy's dead.
you
It's
can
done.
continue, right? That story is done, but you could continue the universe. You
You
could.
could, but then it's like, without those like connecting elements, it doesn't even have to be the same universe.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it can be. Like a perfect example, in my opinion, is what Zack Snyder's doing with a zombie universe. The next movie, not zombie related. It's actually about the thief and how he became a thief.
Yeah, it's a prequel thing.
So, but it's in the universe.
Yeah, but it's the same character, right? It's one of the characters from the,
Sure, it's the same character,
right. But
but
that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to have some connecting tissue. And I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. Like we talked about Men in Black before. Like, Men in Black to me could be an ongoing, forever show, movie, series, animated, whatever the fuck you want to do, because it's like an FBI. There are MIB agents all
right,
over the fucking planet doing
right,
shit,
right.
in multiple planets, doing shit all the time. So like, oh, we did a movie, like they did this last one. It was in Australia or whatever. Cool. That's that movie. The next one could be in Kenya, and the one
Right.
after that could be in fucking Siberia. Like,
I'm just saying, you can make a movie that ends and continue a number 2 without leaving us hanging
yeah,
with a fucking cliffhanger,
yeah.
or even without tickling the ball sack. Like you don't have to do any of that. You could just act like it ended
That is
and
the
come
one
back.
thing. That is the one thing that was disappointing in Shang-Chi. It ended, and they had a good ending, and then they just had to put in that
They
extra
had to.
10 seconds,
They
the
had
little
to.
tickle the ball sack.
Yep.
And then you're like, ah,
Yeah.
like it took away, honestly, it took away from the ending. It took away from the ending. The only thing, like, they could have done that in a way where, I don't know, that could have ended in a different way. I mean, this isn't really telling you anything.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Okay.
Like it wasn't hard for me to understand how Black Widow was gonna play out without anybody telling me. So I wonder how Shang-Chi's gonna play out. Let's see. He's gonna be a badass. He's gonna win the last fight, and something's gonna happen where
I gotta tell you this. They did a really, like, the thing where Kevin Feige was like, oh, this is the first time the movies and the shows will be interweaving. Yeah, they're doing a really good fucking job interweaving, because it was like Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Shang-Chi. All of these things touch, all because of one chick. I'm gonna just let you figure that out. But Shang-Chi ends, and like they save the world, save the universe, whatever the fuck. And they go back to, they had been hanging out with their friends, and their friends are like basically telling them like, oh, you guys are like, because at the beginning they're like valets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, you guys are valets, like you do something with your life, like go to school, whatever. And then at the end they're having the same dinner, and they're like explaining what happened. They're like, blah blah, we fought the dragon, blah blah. Mm-hmm. They're like, you want us to believe that last week you were parking cars for a living, and this week you saved the universe, because like you sound like crazy people. And literally fucking Wong shows up in the room, like, I need y'all to come with me. I was like, they could have done something else. He could have been like, yeah, check out these fucking rings. Like, he could have been like anything, and there's just so many other possibilities. Like, but like Wong shows up, and I was like, Okay. I mean, that was the only logical thing. But to me, that felt like that could have just all been post credits. Like, just let them wonder. Like, yeah,
Right, right.
sounds
I got you.
crazy.
I got you.
Like, all right, well, whatever. You don't
I
have to
mean,
believe us. The end. And then you do the Wong thing in the credits.
listen. I don't know. When it comes to Marvel movies, like everything to me is a cliffhanger until they say it's over. So,
I mean, I see what you're saying.
like,
I see what you're saying.
if
But
there is one or if there
Like
isn't,
Black Widow ended. Like Black Widow ended, and
sure,
then like
Black Widow
they
and
did a credits thing. And
yeah.
Shang-Chi ended, and they could have just ended it, and they just put everything in the because they did still credits, and then in the
But here's
credits
the
is where it
thing. But
connects with.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You say Black Widow ended, right?
Yeah,
Right. Black Widow
obviously.
ended. Black Widow ended in Endgame. They didn't have to
But I mean, like
release this
that
movie.
story. No, they didn't have to, but
This
they should have done it sooner, really. But
yeah, they should have. But here's the thing. This story didn't have to be told. Shit, this story isn't the one they kept teasing throughout 50 movies.
oh, it is. It is. Erica was like, "Oh, I want to see what happened." I'm like, "They told you. They told you literally everything that happened.
I mean, yeah, they told you, but like we could have seen it.
They showed it. They showed what happened."
I mean, you could tell a real story, Dalbor. Like I could tell you in 2 seconds what happens in Black Widow, but that doesn't mean they weren't able to tell you a fun story to watch.
Wait, did you see
Like,
it?
yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, like, I think I mean they told us about what happened in
sure. And I could tell you what just happened in Black Widow is a 1 minute conversation. Everybody says it's a long story. No, it's not really. She fights a bunch of bad guys. Her family is not her real family because she doesn't have a real family. That's it. It's over. She wins. Yeah, she got shot a few times. It's cool.
and they tell you about Budapest.
Yeah, exactly. So like, just because they told you doesn't mean visually it couldn't have been done good to where it's a good story, just like this one was.
I mean, sure, but I mean, regardless, they're not going to because they're not going to make movies with her anymore.
Well, obviously, no shit. Which is funny because everybody there was a big ever since the what if stuff has been coming out. They're like, oh my god, Tom Holland wasn't Spider-Man's voice. And I'm like, neither
Yeah,
was Tony Stark, neither was Chris Evans, neither was like,
neither
I'm
was
like,
T'Challa after that first episode.
I was like, you guys are falling behind a little bit here. That's all you're concerned about? That fucking Tom Holland didn't do the animated voice? Yeah, no shit. He's not 100% Marvel. You guys keep forgetting he's half Sony, half Marvel.
It's not even that. It's just like he might have had other shit to do.
No, I'm sure it has to do something with contractual agreement. I don't doubt it at all. Spider-Man is a Sony property. Period.
On film, yes, but animated it belongs to Marvel. So
That's fine. That's
that's
fine.
all theirs.
That's fine. That actor is contractually bound to play Spider-Man for Sony.
And get borrowed by Marvel.
Only for the movies. I bet you animated is not in that deal.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's a different contract.
Sure,
I mean,
but
look, it could have been a price thing. It could have been any number of things. I don't care. I think they did a pretty good job. They also changed his face. I didn't particularly like that. I thought his face didn't look like him anyway. So like it didn't matter to me. Like some of the voices were great. Some of them were the originals. Did you watch this most recent one?
I watched one.
Oh,
I don't know, man. That cell shaded shit. Never cared for it. Never will care for it. Listen, it's better than some other ones, but it's still, it's in my opinion,
look, it's not Rick and
visually
Morty, right?
visually watching it feels cheap from who it's coming from.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't particularly understand why they went with that style, but it is what it is. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
mad
is what
about
it,
it. To
it
me,
is. It is
honestly,
what it,
it's one of those things like if they just did this, if this was like their weekly offering forever, like if it was somehow cost effective to just make this every week, like make an episode every week for the rest of fucking time,
Right.
Even if Marvel Comics went down, like I'd still watch that.
No,
Even if they're like Marvel Comics isn't making us any money, we're gonna
no,
shut
and I
down Marvel
get it.
Comics
And
production.
I'm not saying others shouldn't watch it. I'm just saying to me, I when I absorb any visual storytelling,
Mhm.
it it's not just the story, it's the soundtrack, it's the visuals, it's the sound effects. If something's off, and I mean off, it takes me out of it because that one thing is just as crucial as the other thing and the other thing
Yeah,
and the other thing. So if my
yeah. It's like what we kept.
eyeballs,
That's why I hope season 2 Titans the audio is better.
yeah, exactly. Like that. Come on, let's be real, dude. Watching that series, not only is the writing not great, but like watching that fucking show and then having to turn up and turn down and turn up and turn down. Like, how'd you fuck that up?
Yep. Yep.
You're a fucking $1 billion studio. How did you fuck that up?
Yep.
Like, get the fuck out. So, because here's the thing, because speaking of visuals and speaking of what if, I'm in the Funimation face group, and somebody posted like a few weeks back, or maybe a month at this point, who knows. They said, I don't understand people who can't watch a show because of certain animation styles. It's all
I
about the
can.
story.
I can.
And they said it's all about the story. And I didn't reply to them, but I instantly in my head, I'm like, that's good for you.
I was afraid. I mean, if you remember, I was afraid to watch Spider-Man Unlimited because he had a chibi Spider-Man, and I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. No,
that.
I get, yeah, man. And
Like
it's like,
certain like hyper cutesy shit. Like
yeah, man.
that's why I never went back to Pokemon. I never went back to the Pokemon cartoons.
Yeah,
Like once I kind of grew out of that, I never went back to it. It's not appealing to me.
yeah. No, and I get that, man. And
And
that's the thing.
even
Like,
shit that I love, like Pokemon, I like Pokemon, but like Digimon is my shit. I love Digimon.
yeah, yeah.
It's hard to watch the old ones, man. You know, like all
I
the,
love them.
the
I love
hyper
them.
hyper emotionalized faces, and they do those like really
I get it, man.
X out stuff. Like
That's the thing. Like, I can actually watch them, but there's certain ones I can't. Um, but that's another thing. Like, Campia said something like, if you're not watching subbed movies, you're doing yourself injustice. And I'm like,
I mean, that's
not if I don't have any emotional tie, because I'm the one reading and imagining what the fuck that sounds like. And two, if I'm reading and not experiencing.
it's. I mean, it's if you're not a
Film is visual as much as it is storytelling. So if my eyeballs are fucking down here and everything up here is already happening, where's the connection?
I do it. I can do it. I don't mind
Yeah,
it.
if you can do it, I say kudos, you win. You're better than me. You get to watch shit that I want to watch, but I can't. If I wanted to read, I'd
If you
read
don't mind
books,
a
but I don't
bad
like reading
dub,
books.
if you don't mind a bad dub, I mean not a bad dub, it's a fine dub. It's just like watching English come out of mouths that aren't
Sure.
speaking
Yeah,
English
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
always kind of off-putting. There is a movie on Netflix called, I think they called it Unknown Origins
Mm.
on Netflix, but it's actually Secret Origins. I don't know why they
Right, right, right,
fucking
right.
changed it. It's this thing where it's a murder mystery, and it's about this cop who has to solve this murder mystery by partnering up with this comic book nerd.
Mm.
And all the murders are like tied to comic book
Right,
stuff.
right, right.
It's actually a good movie. Like it ended, and I was like, that was actually pretty fucking good.
Um,
But it's on Netflix. You should watch it. But again, it's dubbed. It came out, I think, in Spain. So
well, that's the thing. So I've tried to watch some of the
Guardians. Did you try to watch the Guardians?
I tried watching some of the stuff that I thought was really good dub. Like, speaking, like, when you're not 100% like just staring at their mouth, like, overall it actually looks like they might be saying the words, and for some reason I still couldn't do it because I know that's not their voice, and it was just like it was throwing me off.
But I mean, like just because this is fresh in my mind. Spike's voice isn't Spike's voice from the original anime.
No, and you're absolutely right, but because I don't understand the original anime, I don't, and anime in general, you don't. They're
I
just
guess,
doing
yeah.
this. They're just doing like you can dub anything. I could be like, lick my ball sack, or goddamn, you're sexy,
No,
or
but they
I'm
they make
hungry
their
like a
mouth they make their
motherfucker.
mouths move a certain way, so they adjust the audio, they adjust the
They
dialogue.
do, they to a point, but it
If you want
still
to
can.
watch, damn it, I hate to recommend this because I feel like there was supposed to be a third one, but they didn't put it out. But I still feel like they're good movies, and they are live action and they are dubbed. But I legitimately, for the first probably 3/4 of the first movie, did not realize it was dubbed.
Mhm.
Like they did a really good job matching the fucking
Yeah,
the
I mean that's
speaking.
like that's literally the praise back in the day. Dizzle, when Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon came out, everybody was praising the dub. Everybody was praising how well it was done. That you could,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon isn't in English.
from what I understand, that is a dubbed movie.
No, I've never seen it.
So
I need to watch it.
I know I've never I because the part two actually came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It
uh
was a little more than that, but yeah. But yeah, Day Watch and Night Watch. Day Watch and Night Watch. You should
yes, I
watch.
wanted to watch those.
You
I
should watch
wanted
them.
to
Like I said,
badly.
it was so. Plus, a lot of it obviously takes place at night, so it's kind of like people are in the shadows, and it like helps the dubbing.
Mhm.
And I legitimately like probably 3/4 of the first movie. I was like, oh, this is dubbed. Because
Yeah.
I was like, is the sound off? Because now like his mouth seems to be not with the same. And then I was like, oh no, this is just because I was like, oh, they filmed one in Russian and they filmed one in English
Right.
because that'd be ignorant as fuck. No, they did a pretty good job dubbing it. But this one was okay. This one you kind of like the secret unknown origins. You you kind of get lost in the story. Honestly, I think the
Mm,
story is really interesting, um, and how they present it.
right.
It's funny because it's like they based it on real comics,
Right.
and yet the like sample covers that they used were definitely not from the American publications because they look nothing like because the whole thing is like they leave like the murderer leaves like tear offs from the
Right.
covers,
I got you. Right.
and they're like not the covers at all, like not even close.
Um, but yeah, yeah, Kate was good though. Kate was good. I enjoyed it. I think everybody should watch it because I think if you're just want to watch a fun, actiony, artistic, it does have an artsy feel to it because that like whole chase scene in the car, like that's all like really artsy style. Um,
Yeah, I was thrown off by that at first because I was like, oh, this is some like Too Fast Too Furious shit.
yeah, but they were trying to do like a artsy thing with it. Like
Yeah,
they were, it was like that, which is great. Like it threw me off for a hot second, but I was like, okay, all right, I'm not mad at it.
and it
Um,
wasn't too long.
it
Like
wasn't too long. Yeah, it did
it
like,
ended violently
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
quickly.
But like, no, I 100%. I think if you're in the mood to watch a one and done movie where you don't have to think about if it's gonna have a second, like it's done. Like, yes, could they potentially write a second movie? They can. Anybody can do anything, but like this is a done movie. This is 100% finished, complete. There's no cliffhanger. There's no extra thing at the end.
Yeah,
Nothing. Like,
yeah, it was good. You know what's funny? I recently, you might have seen this. This might sound insane, but for the first time ever, I watched Dances with Wolves.
wow. I've watched that
First time,
movie like probably
for the first time ever.
4 times, if not five, before I was 15.
It was it's good.
Yeah, I mean it's a very long movie about a man and a female and the the world. Like it's
No,
it's
it literally after that, I forget what else we had watched, but like between that and like real world stuff, I was like, we need to watch stuff that is not about how America has fucked someone over and a group of like fucked over a group of people historically, like next movie needs to like not be anything related to anything social at all. Like that's why I was like, Kate is a good choice. Like Kate is like action, murder, violence. Like I'm not interested, because like I was like, out of that I was like, I was fucking, I was like, oh my god, like because we had watched the Ballad of what the fuck, the Ballad of Buster
Yeah,
Scruggs, right,
yeah,
whatever.
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
That had some like,
Scruggs.
yeah, that had some like frontier era shit. There's just like, there were so many of these things that we watched that had some like, here is how we fucked over the Native Americans, here is how black people got fucked over, here's, and it was just, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, it's draining. And it's like, obviously position of fucking privilege to be able to be like, I'm just not gonna participate in that for a minute,
Yeah, right.
take a breather from it, because I get to, but like it was one of those, I was like, no, I just need entertainment for entertainment's sake for a bit. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna swing back around to this, because that's the
I
kind of
mean,
shit where I
yeah,
was like,
man.
I can't read, like it's gonna be a fucking while before I read Mouse. Like Mouse is a comic book series, graphic novel series that was created to portray the uh, concentration camps and Nazis of World War II, as Nazis were cats and the Jews were mice.
I see.
And even though it's like not people, I know what it stands for, and like reading it is going to be fucking hard.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
reading through, granted, I have a much more personal connection to it, but like reading Letters from Sarajevo, which was uh, based on actual letters that this dude in Bosnia was sending to Joe Kubert, who made a comic book about it and like documented all these letters, is based on actual events and like that this dude went through. That shit was heart wrenching. And there's one that is called Safe Area Garage. That's the first one I ever learned about. It's a graphic novel, also based on the Balkan War. When I literally saw it at half price, like I was going through the books and I'm like, scanning through, I saw it, and that was like the moment I realized how much my fucking like survivor's guilt, how big it was. Because as soon as I saw the book on the shelf, I almost busted out crying.
Mm.
I was like, fuck, like that was not fucking, like it came out of nowhere. It was not expecting to see it. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh shit.
Right.
But like I bought it that day, and it's been sitting upstairs. Like I haven't been able to touch it.
I won't lie to you. I don't think I've ever felt survivor's guilt.
It's different, man. You were younger. Like those two, like you were 2 years younger than me, and you left a year before me. So you were 5 when you got here, 6,
7.
7. You had only formed, like, developmentally speaking, you had only formed the ability to like differentiate like boy and girl in the last 48 months,
Right.
24 months. Like it was all new to you, it was
Right.
all new to you.
Right.
Like I don't remember from like when I was I remember 3 things from when I was 7, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but like I was 8 when I left. I don't know how you guys left, but like when we left, I took, by the way, I realized I'm still friends with your sister on Facebook. That was fun to observe for a moment. But like when your sister was not crazy, and we went like up a mountain. There were fucking soldiers everywhere. We had to sit on one side of a bus so that it wouldn't tip off a mountain. Like,
Well, we did have to go like through mountainsides in a bus. We watched military personnel drive by. We never had to like sit over to a side or anything like that. But
that shit
yeah,
that's one of those things. Like I will never fucking forget that. They were like, we need half of you to get out. The other half needs to go on this side of the bus so that the bus will not tip over and hit this truck.
but the thing is like, just because I was young, I remember everything. Like my mom's always shocked what I remember.
Oh no, I'm not saying you don't remember it, but I'm saying like the like association, like you've never had like a real big association with Bosnia and shit over there. Like every
You're
time we
not
talk about it,
you're not wrong about that.
like you don't have a big association with that. Whereas like to me, that's where I'm from. Like the I fucking one of the rappers that I listen to, one of the Serbian rappers that I listen to, put out a new song and is basically like all it's called like Where I'm From. And I listened to it and like it hit all these fucking chords. And Erica got back in the car. I was like, why you keep making songs that make me want to cry, man? Like, fuck.
um,
It's like he's actually like a really well versed producer because he makes like bangers. He makes like fucking bangers,
right.
and then he'll just like every 6 months or so just put out one of these like just punch you in the fucking chest songs.
I mean, man, sometimes
He's just
you
like,
got to get them in the fields.
yeah.
But yeah, man, yeah. That was a deep.
Where the fuck did we go?
We went from talking about movie reviews to
movie
to
reviews
getting
to
deep.
this. What are you excited about? Not counting MCU because Eternals and Spider-Man and not even Sony shit because Venom looks great.
I'm super excited for Shang-Chi. Super excited. Can't wait to watch it.
I said not counting MCU.
Okay, not counting MCU. Let's see.
It'll be a fucking minute before you can watch Shang-Chi because like Shang-Chi will be probably available on Disney Plus maybe for Christmas.
Yeah, but I'll be able to buy it at least 4 weeks before that.
What do you mean?
Well, we bought Black Widow and it's not out yet.
Oh, you mean like you bought it on Disney?
We bought it on Blu-ray.
Oh, you mean I see. You mean buy a physical copy. It's not out on Disney yet. It's out on disc.
So I don't know if you know, but that's called, like, I get it, sell as many Blu-rays as possible, but I'm like, so you're streaming people that pay monthly get it after the people that when it's available on Blu-ray,
Yeah,
like 4
for
weeks
sure.
after.
I'm with
So,
that. I'm actually with that.
but
is there any? It says it's estimated for November.
Man, what am I excited for?
Let's see. Upcoming films.
Oh man, I honestly to
Dune?
God.
You got Dune?
I am excited for Dune. I don't know if I've ever watched the original.
I haven't either.
But I'm excited for Dune.
Everyone that's a fan of the books fucking hates those movies.
I mean, whatever. And you know what? From my experience, that happens to be for most book movies. So I don't care. That's not MCU, you said. Okay. Not MCU.
I'm
Ghostbusters.
I have no faith that's going to come out this year. Zero faith.
Oh, you're talking about what comes out this year?
Yeah.
Nothing matters because I have to wait for it till it comes out on streaming or because I'm not going to the theaters. So
right, I feel you. Okay, fine.
Delta variant, not my thing.
Fair enough. Then whatever is coming up, if it's finished or not finished, what are you excited
about? Here's the thing. I'm pretty much done with the DCCU, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't.
I mean, but like when Black Adam and Shazam 2 and when that shit comes out on HBO Max, you'll watch it.
Yeah, for sure. HBO Max, because I get it for free and it's gonna be there. Yeah, I'll probably
that is
watch
nice.
it.
That is nice. It's unfortunate that you get it for free because you have a AT&T account because AT&T apparently funded the insurrection on the 6th. They donated a bunch of money to one of the organizations that paid for those people.
Oh, perfect. No, that's excellent. I'm sure all organizations are assholes. So
No Time to Die. I have not seen anything since Casino Royale. So like to me,
Daniel Craig is my James Bond. So yeah, absolutely. No Time to Die. Once again, Ghostbusters for sure. The new, I am excited. Listen, I'm I guess as they say, a glutton for punishment. Um, I'm excited for the new Resident Evil. I like the Mila Jova.
I'm still 2 movies behind. I've never even finished it.
I love those movies, but I am
I was the same.
excited because this is redoing it, but they're doing it by how the games were.
Right.
So I'm excited for that. I'm super stoked.
Yeah, I don't
I
see why you wouldn't.
think I think they're going to do a decent job. Listen, I'm going. If you're going into this movie and you're like, this better be epic or failure, then you're an idiot. You should go into this movie like, hey, I'm going to be entertained. There's going to be some zombies, some zombie killing. It looks like there's going to be horror involved in it because the original games were pretty horror. And so
Yeah,
looks like they're going to have some jump scares here and there, which is fun. And
that's all
that's
I
why,
want. I just want it to be entertaining.
yeah, exactly. So I'm super stoked for that. Uh, obviously, here's the thing. I am and I'm not excited for it, and only because of what you said. All right. So I'm blaming you
Oh,
for
okay.
bringing it up,
Okay.
but who isn't excited for the red or the blue pill? All right. The red or the blue pill, it's always an
Oh, the
exciting
Matrix.
time. But if they're really going to ignore 2 and 3, they're idiots.
I don't know.
Wachowskis
I don't
are
know. The
morons if they're going to
only
ignore it because literally at the end of 3, you don't know if he's dead. I said he's not dead because the robots just grabbed him, healed him, and put him back in the Matrix because per deal, he goes back and the robots leave all the people that are out alone. That's the deal.
right.
This, the way the trailers played, looks exactly like that deal went through, which means number 3 happened. So if they're trying to say 2 and 3 didn't
It
happen,
could be, yeah. And this is a new Morpheus. Maybe they restarted the Matrix into a new
that's what
universe.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they are continuing from 3 and they should. Listen, if you're like 10 years down the road, you watch these movies and you're like, you know what? I don't like how these 2 and 3 were perceived by the audience. I wish I did better. Who cares? You did it. It's out. It's there. It's part of the story. Make the next one better. Shut the fuck up. Make the next one better.
Yeah.
So
There's a great example
I hate
for
that.
that. That's
I
a great
hate.
example for that. Star Trek did the same thing. When they first did the motion picture, it didn't do well. It didn't do well, but it did just well enough for them to get a
Right.
sequel.
Right.
But people didn't like it. And then they were like, all right, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a bunch of the shit from 1 to save a bunch of money, and we're
Yeah.
gonna make 2. And then 2, they were like, we need to get a better story. So then they were like, oh, okay, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4 became its own little trilogy because they wrote a better story.
And here's
They
the
weren't
thing.
like, oh, one sucks, so
I
we're not
read
gonna
a
make any movies.
I read an article and they were like, why did all of a sudden the Wachowskis decide to make this movie after being constantly bombarded by HBO and getting or Warner and throwing all this money at them to because apparently, according to one of the Wachowskis, they were like, they kept coming every year begging for a movie and they would throw a stupid amount of money at us and we were like, no, thank you. So why all of a sudden would you come back and make it? Well, apparently because they've experienced 3 or 4 deaths in a row, and it's just their mind helped them by doing the Matrix for some reason by doing the Matrix story by bringing back those
Yeah,
characters
but
that they loved. So to me, like if you're saying that you didn't want to do those because you were fine with how 3 movies came out, then there's no reason for you to say that like you're ignoring 2 and 3. That's stupid.
yeah, but Lana's the only one working on it. The
Well, I
other
mean, regardless, I don't give a shit who's working on it. Don't say stupid shit like that if you were fine with the other 3 movies and you kept rejecting a shit ton of money. All right, next one.
It's called Resurrection, so
I
it
know.
follows the naming
Yeah,
sequence. I don't know. It
they
makes
can
sense.
kiss. They can kiss my ass. Honestly, listen. This is a little guilty pleasure. Top Gun. Yeah,
Okay, so I've never seen the original.
it's fun. It's a fun 80s movie. Like it's
I've never seen the original, but I saw the trailer for the new one, and I was like, yeah, this looks cool. This looks cool.
Yeah.
And my thing is, he's a theater guy, so this is not going to come out until he can get $300 million in theaters.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah,
$500 million.
he's he's
And
very,
until this makes
but
$500
he's
million in
very, but
theaters,
he's
he's
also
not putting
very
out the
strict.
next Mission Impossible.
He got, somebody released a voice clip of him yelling on set because he got
I
mad that
remember.
somebody wasn't following the rules of fucking COVID. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so the man wants to make movies, but he wants to do it safely. So yes, you're absolutely right. He wants to go to theater. He wants to make a shit ton of money, but he's probably going to wait till he feels even that it's safer for the audience to be in the theater. So he's not going to release it soon, but at some point,
And he's not going to
will.
release the next Mission Impossible, which has been filmed. I don't know that it's done, but
Yeah.
it's definitely been filmed. And he's not going to release Mission Impossible until Top Gun has had its theater run. So
Yeah.
depending on, I mean, I guess depending on how vaccines and numbers and cases go into the holidays, like could release it for holidays.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works out. I mean, you never
It depends,
know.
man.
You
It
never
depends
know.
because there people are, I don't know, people in the vaccine fucking kind of getting wild.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm excited for Night Teeth. That's another one of those like kind of a wild fucking concept. I think what's her face? Oh my goodness, what is her name? I always forget her name. Megan Fox. Megan Fox is in it. And it's just like it's an interesting concept. Do you remember Collateral?
Yeah, I mean, which
with
Collateral?
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Tom Cruise and it's Collateral with vampires.
Interesting.
It's Collateral with vampires. This dude George Lendenborg Jr. He plays a taxi driver or Uber driver or whatever, and he drives these chicks around while they vampire shit. While they do vampire shit.
Vampire shit, man. I mean, all day, every day. Listen, I think it's a Netflix movie. I think it's a streaming service movie. I don't know if it's out. I don't think it's out. I think it comes out in like 2 months or something. But Will Smith's new movie, which is a drama. Gotta love Will Smith dramas. They're always great. He's playing King Richard, but not how you think King Richard.
No, I know. I've seen the trailer. The Venus and
Yes.
Serena's dad.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be on HBO Max.
That's what I thought.
Unless they pulled it out. And they said,
yeah, I don't know if they pulled it out or not, but I could have sworn it was a streaming thing. It was going to streaming. So obviously I gotta listen, I've been a Will Smith fan since Will Smith's been Will Smith.
It says November 19th, 2021.
And I will always watch his movies. I do apologize, Will Smith, that I haven't watched After Earth yet, but I will. I promise I will go back and watch it. I will.
Wait, what?
I haven't never fully watched After Earth. I told you. I always stopped. I stopped right when his son's trying to go out into Earth. So.
Oh, geez, you haven't seen the movie then.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
watched.
Pretty sure I said the exact same thing to you last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first 20 minutes. It's the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I still haven't watched Kingsman 2, so I am excited I am excited for the new one because it is going back in the older years.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But I gotta watch that second one. I don't know if you'd need to though. I think as long as you watch the first one,
I don't think you need to for sure.
Yeah, but I am excited that because the first one was just, we were talking about this. It was ridiculous for the sake of ridiculous, but it's what made it fun.
Dude, so I watched this movie a while back called God's Not Dead. I think I talked to you about this. It was Kevin Sorbo. I'm gonna say it on record. I bootlegged it. I didn't give him any money because he's a little too right-wing Republican crazy for me.
Right.
But I watched it and then I saw a YouTube trailer for 2. And I was like, oh, somebody made a choke trailer for another movie. Because I was like, this is not a movie that deserves a sequel. There's a third one.
There's a lot of movies that didn't deserve sequels and they still got them.
There's a third one. There's a movie called Lamb. It's fucking, watch the trailer. It's fucking weird. Erica and I saw the trailer. I thought it was a show. At first I thought it was fake. I thought it was like a fucking short film, somebody artistic bullshit. But no, it's basically the premise is this woman gets this baby lamb who was injured and raises it and then treats it like it's her own child.
Oh, I think I did hear about that.
It's fucking weird. It looked fucking weird.
Yeah.
We saw the trailer. We both looked at each other. We were like, "What the fuck did we just watch?"
The other thing I'm looking forward to, even though I'm not necessarily okay, so Tom Holland said he wasn't happy with how he decided to do his performance in Uncharted, but he didn't say necessarily that he did a bad performance. He just wasn't happy how he approached it. But I am excited for Uncharted for sure, just because it's based off a great video game that I love. I necessarily wouldn't have picked. They picked, listen, two actors that I really like. I mean, I really like both actors, but for those characters, that's not the actors I would have picked. But you got Mark Wahlberg playing Sully, and you got Tom Holland playing fucking Nate. And it just, neither one of those was something I would have expected. But hey, I like them both as actors, so I'm gonna keep my hopefully, hopefully I'll be optimistic and hopefully it'll be good. I know Jurassic World is coming up at some point. I'm obviously going to be excited for that just because I enjoy it. They're fun movies. There's another one. Oh, John Wick 4. I think we've all been waiting for that because, well, he's still being hunted. So, but no, he's hunting. That's right. It's not that he's being hunted. He's now hunting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going for everybody now. It's not that
he's going for the head of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. So when I was a kid, this was probably when I was 8 years old, I saw a movie about BMX bikes. I think it was just called BMX. It was
you saw a movie about BMX bikes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Nicole, Australian chick, Eyes Wide Shut.
Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman's, I think, first movie. She was fucking 12.
Mm-hmm.
Americans made a movie about BMX bikes called Rad with Lori Loughlin, Aunt Becky from fucking
the one to went to jail.
Yeah. They remastered it in 4K and it's coming out in theaters. Movie about BMX bikes that have not been relevant in pop culture since 1994.
That's interesting. That's interesting. There is a one movie that Sly, I call him Sly. Why did I call him Sylvester Stallone?
Sly,
I don't know.
like the guy. Sly, Sly.
But that's what everybody calls. No, it doesn't matter if you know him or not. Everybody calls him Sly. Sylvester Stallone has been on his social media talking about it for a few years now. He's got this, I guess it's a superhero movie, according to him. He says it's a different kind of superhero movie. It's called Samaritan. So that's going to be coming out. He's been fucking talking about it for at least a year, if not longer. So I'm guessing it's coming out next year sometime. So that is another one that I'm definitely.
He's got a dark hoodie on. It looks like Unbreakable.
Obviously Mission Impossible. If you like Tom Cruise, you like Tom Cruise.
I mean, I like Mission Impossible. I'm a big fan of those movies.
Well, there's that too. Things. Not just if you like Tom Cruise, but if you like Mission Impossible.
If he didn't come back, if he was just like, all right, I'm not going to do action, although I think that man's going to die during a stunt. I think that's the only way Tom Cruise dies.
Yeah, 100%. That man's dying from a stunt, 100%.
Tom Cruise is going to do a
first
of
all
jump from orbit.
Do we agree? Do we agree? Just like Letterman, he's a robot.
No. I think he's made a deal with the Scientology gods.
He's made it.
I think he's been on the spaceship. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I got you. For shows, let's be real. Dexter, they beat us to it.
I don't know that they beat us to it. We don't know what's going to happen in that season. Our thing still could work. Although, to be fair, we would need to shoot that next year.
Yeah, right.
Next September. That's
so Dexter for sure. I'm super stoked for Dexter. But obviously, we talked about it a little bit ago. No, we didn't. We talked about anime, but we didn't talk about it. No, we did. You did mention it. Cowboy Bebop. I've been waiting for that for like
Did you see the intro?
2 years now. No, I didn't. I know something was been being
Ty
teased.
shared it.
Oh, I haven't. I don't look at it as much as I used to. So, but I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, they did the intro. They made the intro just like
That's awesome.
same music.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's
Um,
great. Um,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know how I
I'll,
feel about it.
I'll, I'll have to watch it. But
There was like some CG in there, so it was like, I don't know. It felt kind of weird. Felt kind of
well,
weird.
it's a futuristic space adventure where
Yeah,
they
I know.
go
I
between.
know. Oh, by the way, Hodges, since I have no nostalgia about Cowboy Bebop, I just watched it recently. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was this fucking amazing thing that everyone
Sure.
talks about because a lot of people have nostalgia about it.
Yeah.
Now, you are a fan of Cowboy Bebop for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you give a shit that Valentine is not half naked? Like she
Yeah,
wasn't.
absolutely. I mean, the fact that she's not, you know, if listen, if they couldn't fit an anime body on her, I don't want to see it. All right. All right. If you can't
I
fit
could
an
not
anime
believe that that was the
body,
conversation that was happening.
I don't want to. I don't want her. She's not my Faye. All right. She's not. I'm axing it right now. No, of course not. Absolutely stupid. Absolutely
I was
idiotic.
blown
Um,
away, dude. When I saw that that was the
listen,
thing that was happening,
I'll
I was like, "Are you guys
bring
serious?"
on bring on the hate because I am a true gamer. I am a true geek nerd, anime lover. I'll tell you right now, all you assholes out there that complain about all these anime movie, live action movies, all these game live action movies that complain without even fucking watching it. And then even if you did watch it, you still complain, you don't know what the fuck you want. Because like I will go back to two good examples. Alita, bad fucking ass. Kiss My Ass, that movie's badass, and I can't wait for part two. Part two will happen because they're gonna make it happen. Um, and Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is the first fucking Ghost in the Shell movie, fucking almost scene for scene. Like, and and you're mad, I get it, whitewashing. But you know what? That's explained and very well, might I add. It's explained very well. It's explained almost as good as the anime explains it. Because in the anime, we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
she doesn't know who the fuck she is. She doesn't even know what ethnic background she is. She's forgotten. Like, she doesn't know. So, fuck you.
Yeah, as far as I can recall,
But,
as far as I can recall from the anime, from the film,
right.
they don't talk about her ethnicity at all.
But now they do at the end. They explain it. They
No,
explain
the animated film.
Oh, the animated film. Yeah, they don't. It's in the show that she brings up. I think it's in the show or the second movie. I can't remember exactly when, but she mentions like, I don't, I don't know who I am. What am I? I don't know where I'm from. Like
Yeah,
nothing. She knows literally. She can't remember shit about
right.
herself. She I think one of the phrases she uses is like, I don't even know if this is my real skin. Something like that.
Right.
So fuck you. But now you're complaining about Faye not having ridiculous proportions on her body. Like
I don't even think it was that. I mean, it might have been that. I'm sure
it
was that
is.
for some people.
It is.
But
It's the fact that
they were
she's not
saying that
as
she's
scandalous and the fact that she's not as
yeah.
robust, as they say. So like the fact that like this is a fucking thing is
Like
stupid.
honestly, to me, she looks more believable. Here's my thing. When I was watching the anime, I was like, is this chick just gonna walk around half naked this whole time? Like, is she gonna put some clothes on? Because I didn't understand it. I was like, her
It's just
pants are basically
it's a
falling
future
off.
it's a future outwear that you wear. She does act sexy slash like she doesn't give a fuck type of deal,
Yeah,
but like who cares? Like she can still act sexy in the live action,
yeah.
right? She doesn't have to be half naked. Not necessary.
No, here's the thing. To me, honestly, she's got a little midriff showing. That's not
Right.
to me. That's
Yeah.
the hint. The hint is because if she was just wearing a bra and like a short
dude,
shorts,
dude,
I'd be
listen,
like, all right, cool, whatever. Like she's there just for sex appeal.
listen. It can be done. I think, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite watches. I know most people won't agree with me. I don't give a fuck, but like Zack
I don't,
Snyder did a really good movie where it the women have sexy outfits on, but they're not also at the same time, they're not necessarily, I don't remember any of them wearing just like a bra, but they are sexy outfits. And
are you talking about
Sucker Punch.
Sucker
I
Punch?
enjoy the shit out of Sucker Punch, not just for the action, but also for the mental game and everything. Um,
Oh, yeah, it was his feminist movie,
right.
uh,
But
quote unquote.
but
No, it was a ridiculous film. It was a ridiculous
yeah,
film, but it
but
was
like
fun. It was enjoyable.
it was fun, it was enjoyable, and even that, like even though they wore scandalous like clothing, it wasn't what Faye wears in the anime. Like, listen, have I seen live action movies where um one of the female characters is the whole time in a bra? If I'm remembering, I think I have. Can it work? Sure, it can work. It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to be there. She just needs to be. She needs to be able to portray sexiness, right? She needs to like that flirtatious, like, damn, she said that, and that would get a guy going, right? Or even a fucking female going. You know what I'm saying? Like she's that sexy, right? So it's not just the physical, man. It's her whole thing is sex
Yeah,
appeal. So like as long as she can sell it, she doesn't have to be fucking, she could be like in a fucking nun outfit. I don't give a fuck.
right.
Like like it's just, as long as she can sell the sex appeal, who the fuck cares? No, I'm super stoked, man. I can't wait. Um, if they, I really, here's what I need. Here's what I need. And you watch the anime.
Mhm.
It needs to find. It needs to follow the Mandalorian uh, uh, formula. It needs to, because the anime does. Every episode has something happening. It's action. It's somebody they're trying to get. While at the same time, there's an underlining of the big story for Faye, Jet, and and Spike. Like it's not constantly focused. It's not
The
constantly
only thing
focused,
I would
but
want
it's there.
more is we didn't get a lot of Faye's story in the anime. That just kind of felt to the wayside.
Well, it
Uh,
was the main, because
I
obviously
get it. I get it.
the biggest focus was obviously Spike.
Right, but my only
But you
thing is
did
I
still
would
get her
want them.
story at the end. Like she, when she's trying to stop Spike, she says, I remember who I am, and it's irrelevant," or something like that. I forgot how she said
Yeah,
it. Like it's not worth a damn or
it
something.
it. Here's the thing. The only thing I would want different from the show, because I think the show was good. Like I said, I wasn't like over the moon about it, but I think it was a good show. I think it was fun. It was exciting.
Right.
Lots of cool shit happens.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I would want that I feel to me would make it a better narrative is a more cohesive story structure,
Mm.
because it was like we got a bunch of like they were one-off episodes, but there was no like a baseline narrative.
Right. Right.
Everything was a standalone episode, and
Right.
like you had like a tease of something,
Right.
but there was nothing, there was no context to it. It was just like
No, I agree. I
here was
agree.
this
I
like
think
flash of a memory,
right.
and then we're not going to know about that for 7 episodes,
Right. No, and I
and
don't disagree
there's
with you.
nothing
Like
talking about
there
it.
doesn't need to be more.
But that's the only change I would want. Everything
Yeah.
else I think was good. I think it was
Yeah.
good, enjoyable.
'Cause the anime is very much the Mandalorian formula, and they need to follow it. It cannot be a boring anime. It cannot fucking try to have filler bullshit. Give me the action every episode. Give me the story every episode. It can be done. It's been proven it can be done. That's what this needs. I'm excited. I think they got a good cast. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
The trailer, you should watch the trailer right now. I want to see
All
your
right,
face.
fine.
I want to
Fine.
see your face.
Let me
And
here.
if you're
I'll click on.
listening, you should watch the YouTube video to watch his
Here we go.
reaction.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Netflix. Let's watch it. Yeah, baby. Oh, that song, dude. That song gets me every time. Oh, okay. Okay. I see what they're doing there. Okay. I dig it actually. I'll tell you why the one thing is throwing me out. And I know why they did it, but I wish they did it a little different. Oh no shit. Vicious? Yeah. Oh my god, I can't wait for that one. Oh, I forgot what's the dog's name. Oh, I can't remember it. It's no, Faye looks good, dude. Yeah.
I just caught it, dude. I didn't even realize it. That's funny.
All right. So
Hold on, let me just tell you real quick. I just caught that right at the end when they showed those TVs. They were showing the
why did he
Western
link me in Netflix Asia? That's fine.
the Western couple, the Western like the ads,
Mm-hmm.
the like the like bounty hunter announcements
Yeah.
from the beginning of episodes.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. I do hope the soundtrack is from the anime, like throughout the whole show. I really do hope it is because it's a very good soundtrack. It's one of my favorites, and there's not a like I like anime music, but a lot of times it's just
This show had a really that is the one thing I will
this
say
show
I was
had
in
a
love with on this
soundtrack.
show. That was a fantastic soundtrack.
It's very jazzy, it's very blues, but it was so good. It worked. It worked, and I think it would work for the movie. Here's what throws me off about the. Oh my god, I love it though. It's so good. I know why they did it.
You're geeked.
I know why they did it because it works well with throwing you off. But them there when it's out of the anime looking thing and looking more into the live action.
Right.
The live action looks it looks like that shit that I always talk about with these modern TVs when you set them like for like hyper realistic, like it looks like they're recording. It doesn't look filmy enough. I feel like the parts that are live action need to look more filmy. When I'm watching it, it looks more like 60 frames per second, like too hyper realistic. I know why they did it because it works well with the absurdity of like going back to like anime style versus live action. I get why they did it, but I think it would have worked really well if they did it more like if the visuals were more like like the Mandalorian, where it looked like a fucking movie type of deal. Where the visuals here for the live action
The
part,
shots toward the shots from the episodes though, I feel like look pretty cinematic.
yes, the shots from the but like a lot of them are not from the episode, so like they're mixing the two up, right? You if you're gonna put in shots from the episode which is gonna have the cinematic, then even those other shots like where they like for instance like at 16 seconds when you see or 17 when you see Spike looks like hyper realistic there, like he's just doing a pose. So does Jet even more so. Like it doesn't look like a cinematic piece, and I get it. I get why they did that, but then you're mixing it with some of the cinematic
I
stuff from
think
the
it's well, I
show.
think that's for because of the trailer or because of the intro and
Well,
the
the intro
colors.
is absurd, and then of course the anime is very much feels like what this intro is. So like, I get it.
You know what my question is? You see when they do the gunfire, they have animated. I wonder. I mean, I doubt it. I feel
No,
like
they
that
no
would
no.
make it.
That's just for the intro. They won't do that at the anime or in the live action. They won't do that in the actual show. That's just for the intro. I promise you. I'm certain of it.
Because if you look at
No, I love it, man. I mean,
37
see,
seconds. Look at
see
37 seconds.
at 34 seconds with the jet flying away. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, dude, the city. It's yes, absolutely. 37. Yeah, it looks. See,
Like I
that's.
don't. That's weird.
I
But I don't.
know.
Again, I don't know if that's just for the trailer.
Yeah, I
I mean, it's
know.
probably or not just the trailer, the intro, but it's probably just for the intro.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But no, I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. I'm Jet doing his fucking what are those trees called? Bonsai
Bonsai
tree.
tree.
Hell yes, dude. Hell yes. I love it. I love it, man. This looks very promising. It looks like it's gonna be. I mean, listen, first of all, for people to be mad at Faye for not wearing a scandalous outfit, okay, the top isn't scandalous, but like she's wearing fucking, which a lot of people, in my opinion, would think is very sexy, knee-high boots with fucking stockings, short ass skirt, like at 44 seconds you can
Look,
see it,
look,
like
look,
it's
deep,
sexy.
look, deep V-neck.
Yeah, she's got the yeah. I mean, listen,
It's
it's
it's a
not
good
showing
look.
the
It's a good
no,
look.
dude,
I'm just
it's
gonna
no
say
man,
it's a good look.
no, it's good, man. Uh,
It's good. I'm a fan.
No, it's great, man. I'm stoked. I'm very happy with it. Oh my God, what's the dog's name?
I don't remember.
Ah, eh,
I'm glad you're excited about it.
Ein.
I'm glad you're excited about it.
And then it's Ed. Ed is from the boy, or I think we find out he's a boy, but for the longest time, everybody thinks it's a girl. But
Oh,
at
you know,
the end,
did they even show that?
yeah, yeah, you meet his dad.
I
You
know,
meet
but I
his
mean,
you meet his
uh,
dad, and he calls him son.
did they show Ed in the preview?
No, they didn't. And they say, I guess Ed is gonna be
Interesting.
there. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
there was confirmation that Ed will be there. Um, I'm stoked, man. Whew,
There it is.
whew, I'm stoked.
Uh, is Ed in Cowboy Bebop? Why isn't Ed in Netflix's first look? Hmm. John Cho. Who's that? Vicious. I don't remember Vicious. It's funny. Like I don't remember the
Well,
show a
well,
lot. Do you?
Vicious is Spike's main guy.
Right.
That's his arch enemy. That's his. We were friends. You betrayed me, motherfucker. It's time for you to die.
Mad Piero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Punch Judy. Where's Ed? One major cowboy bebop conspicuously absent in these new materials. Notorious underage computer hacker Ed is the fourth pillar of the series and quickly become BFFs. And Netflix has confirmed that Ed will appear in the series, but the character's complete absence suggests that they won't be popping up in season one or will be drastically reimagined when they do so.
I mean, it's possible. I can see why they would do that because it is a underage hacker. Um,
No, I think they're just keeping it tight
but
on the
it is
appearance because
supposed
I
to
think
be
that
a
was one of the big things
but
that people were whining about.
it is supposed to be a mini series. So
Yeah, I think they're just trying to hold on to that one little detail because that was one of the things that people were whining about
yeah, yeah.
because they said that they had hired um someone who was I think non-binary.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it would make sense.
Right, right. Because like if look, because they have Hakeem, they have the thief, they have Teddy Bomber, Shin Chalmers, like they do the whole season.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like there's no question about this. This is not going to be a stretched out over 2 seasons thing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the intro. Yeah, I mean, I just can't fucking wait. I've been ecstatic since they fucking announced it. Since they announced it, they were like live action. I'm like, please do it justice. Make the proper ethnic choices. Because I always said, like, when I watched the anime, I was like, Jet's black. Um, I think with Faye, it's hard because I think she is a Westerner. From what I remember in the anime, I think when she finds out who she finds out she is actually a Western woman. Um, that was like on a trip with her rich ass husband or some shit. And then she got, I can't remember, or she was a thief. I can't remember. I can't, it was a long time ago. I got to rewatch it. But I could have sworn she was confirmed to be a Western woman in the Spike. Obviously, I would have said Asian 100%. Um, and it looks like that's the route they went with. And I'm super stoked, man.
I'm down for it.
I'm down for it. Like,
she's Spanish,
apparently she is
Mexican,
yeah.
Mexican American.
Yep. So, I mean, listen, man,
It's like like to me that shit is
I
minimal because
like
it's an adaptation.
I like the dude's face who's playing Vicious. Like, I'm looking at his one shot on IMDb. Like, his face looks like what I would probably imagine for Vicious, but I don't know about the white hair. The white hair is gonna throw me off because looks like he's got dark features, like a very darker toned skin.
Wasn't Vicious and Vicious have white hair?
He did. So I don't know how he's gonna look, how this actor is gonna look with white hair. I'm worried it might look too fake. But we'll see. I mean, we have to wait and watch the
They had
show.
him.
He was quickly in there, but it was hard to tell how good it looked or not. Plus, because of all the different types of scenes and stuff, it's
Yeah. If you go on the the IGN breakdown of the characters who were in the preview, they have a close up. I don't know. It looks interesting. Look, I'm excited for it. I'm super interested to watch it. I saw the trailer for the League show, the League Legends show. It's still cell shaded, but like leaning way more towards fully rendered, like fully textured stuff.
for the Netflix one, right?
Yeah.
It looked good to me for the little bit I saw, but I don't
They
know.
dropped a trailer like today.
Oh, I didn't
It's
see the
called,
full trailer. I
I
saw
forget what it's
the
called. It's like a League of Legends Netflix Champions, I think it's called.
arcade.
Arcane. There it is. Yeah, it's like it's more rendered, but still cell shaded.
Let's see. Oh, pause it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Riot also is going to be having a lawsuit for how they.
Of course they fucking are. Well, I guess I can't watch this show.
Yeah, right. I see what you mean. Fuck.
It's almost like a painterly 3D.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like I don't mind it.
The world looks fun. The world looks good. The dark world looks good with this.
It's the thing for me is I don't like if you look at like 38 seconds when they show the city is not fully rendered. The
Yeah, I
city's not
know.
3D.
I
That's
know.
a painting.
I know.
That's a
I know.
Photoshop
I
painting.
know. I know.
So it's like it's this weird mix
It is
because
a
it's almost
mix.
like
Yeah.
old school like animation
Yeah. Yeah.
methods. Like on the X-Men animated series from the 90s, they would draw the characters,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah. Yeah. I
background
know.
would be painted.
I know.
But like this is 3D. Like you have the ability to just make these buildings real quick. Like they're background buildings. They don't need to be highly textured and detailed and shit. Like
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like, I'm not hating it.
it honestly to me, it looks way more like a cutscene
Yes,
than any other
that's what it
animated
does. Yes,
adaptation.
yes, that's what it does look like. It looks like a cutscene.
No. Maybe, I mean, again, I think that this is going to be one of those situations where, to me, it's going to depend a lot on the story being told. If the
Yeah.
story is very engaging, I can blur out the
Yeah.
because to me, that's
However,
what it is for
here,
me on Rick and Morty. Like Rick and
how
Morty, I can't look at the art like
I will say
seriously.
this:
but,
even
like,
though it is a mixture between animated and art, I feel like it still has more detail than what I saw in What If, or at least in that first episode.
yeah, because the texture work on the
The
characters is
texture
much
work, that's
higher.
what
Yeah,
it is.
like
Yeah,
I said,
it's the
it's much more
texture work.
painterly.
Yeah.
Whereas the cell shading style on the What If animated series,
See, I
is
probably
more
would have
flat.
I think because of that extra texture work, I would have definitely accepted this more for What If than what's currently there.
I think honestly, I think you just need to get into the story. You you blend the two. You blend the two eventually because the stories are really good.
Right.
Like the Doctor Strange episode is incredibly good. The second episode with the last performance of
So when the fuck is Cowboy Bebop coming out?
this Cowboy Bebop.
I've been waiting 50 years for this.
I don't know. I don't know when it's supposed to be coming out. November 19th.
All right.
November 19th. Yeah, man. A lot of cool shit coming out. A lot of
I'm
cool shit
excited.
coming out.
I'm excited.
Cool shit coming out.
I'm excited, especially for that. I can't even. So when is So it's on Showtime, isn't it, Dexter? I mean, I would assume it is.
Probably.
Netflix?
Netflix limited series.
What?
Because Showtime doesn't have their own streaming thing, I don't think. Seasons 1 through 8 now streaming. Yeah, but where?
They do. You can watch it on Showtime's website. You've
Oh,
been able to watch it for a long time. That's why.
I think they're owned by Paramount because you can get a bundle apparently. Showtime Paramount Plus for $9.99 a month. Interesting.
Hey, whatever, man. Dexter was one of those shows I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed it all the way through and through. The sister was meh here and there.
No, that was the problem. That was the thing. The first like 3 seasons, I hated her.
Yeah.
I was like, she fucking annoys the shit out of me.
She does
I
annoy
don't
me.
like her.
Yeah.
And then I watched Quarantine.
That
And
was
I
her.
realized
Yep.
this woman is actually just a really good actress.
No, she's a great
This
actress,
is
but I
how
just
they wrote her to be annoying.
no,
They wrote her to be
they
this
did.
character.
Yeah, no, they.
So I was
I
like,
understood what. I didn't think she
didn't.
was a bad actress. I understood why that they wrote her that way. I just didn't care that they wrote her that way.
No, it's gonna be on Showtime. It says Dexter New Blood series premiere Sunday, November 7th at 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I mean, not good, but
No, I think Netflix is the international distributor
okay, that makes more sense.
because that's the same thing they do with the
Well,
CW shows. The CW shows are all on Netflix.
We'll see. All right, predictions. Are they going to show his son? Because right now, everything we've seen in the trailer is about him in this new life in this winter paradise, if you want to call it that. And I just don't. Just going off of the trailer, I don't think we're going to see the son.
I don't think so either. I think this is a situation where he is going to have to find a way to like do this thing, take care of this killer, and still not be seen.
Right.
And also at the end of it, walk away without needing that fix again.
Right. That'd be fun. I'd like that.
Like I would like him to walk away and be like, all right, I'm gonna not kill any more people.
Yeah, I would like that
This
too.
was a necessary kill.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to not killing people.
Yeah, that would be nice
Because to me,
to
that
give
is
him a good
control.
ending.
To give him a
Yeah.
good control. Give him a like, hey, he's actually moved on from this. He because at the end of the show, when they showed him in like North Dakota or whatever the fuck,
Right.
he was like, a day laborer, like, working on a lumber
Yeah.
mill or whatever.
Yeah.
And to me, that felt like running away, going somewhere where you're not going to be recognized. No one's going to ask questions. You're just there doing work. You can
Right.
walk away, leave. Like, it was a place where you didn't have to develop a personality. You just had to be the guy that shows up, fucking
Right.
loads the
Right.
trucks or whatever the fuck. Whereas this, I feel like, is going to give him a way to, oh, he came from that, and he like came to this place and built this shop and became part of a community without having to succumb to those urges.
Right.
So I think this is going to be a situation where he's going to have to deal with this, and then also have to come back from it, and like to give him that control. I think that perfectly encapsulates the
I
show.
agree. I agree.
And
It's
that
going to
also,
be just
and that also still allows us to make the Harrison short next year.
So is it just going to be? Did they confirm it's just one season?
It's a limited
Run, right?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like what Prison Break was, and 24 Legacy, and
I never watched. Dude. I
watched Prison Break. It was great.
I never watched that show.
They did. Well, here's the thing: the show gets ridiculous in the last season before the return. It's a little absurd. It's a little out there. I'll tell you what. They fixed that. Thank God.
Dude, how much more absurd can it be than a dude traveling from Afghanistan to Washington, D.C., and still having plenty of time to not like let a bomb go off in less than 24 hours?
What was that?
24.
Oh, 24. That's the thing. I never watched.
That motherfucker bent the rules of space-time.
Did you
episode? I saw
not
like
every, not every.
Bro, I watched the first
episode.
episode, and that motherfucker was in Afghanistan, and he was back in.
I stopped
in noon.
I stopped in season 3. I can't remember which one, but
I watched like a couple episodes here and there.
All right, man.
Every time I did, it was ridiculous.
All right, man. But I think that's what it's
3 hours at this point.
Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours. We got it. We got to call. We got it. It's a good podcast. No, I'm excited. I'm stoked for both of those. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Oh my God. November 7th. We get 2 good shows in November. Well, hopefully 2 good shows, but
yeah.
I'm gonna say they're both gonna be good. I'm gonna say they're both gonna be good.
All right.
Calling.
I'm with you.
I'm calling them.
That's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, I'll be very honest with you. If you are here at the end of a 3-hour podcast,
oh my God,
DM me on Instagram with just the word Dexter. I'm going to give you $10 to Amazon.
Dude,
that's
I'm saying, if you're here for that long, you deserve it.
To you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Deuces.